If I couldn't join a K21 Academy, I will never have this offer right now.
As soon as I have finished my course, I got a job.
Clearing the doubts is something which helped me to get this role.
Whatever the procedure is that have been given, follow that, did the lab, did the exercise, and yeah, that gave a result. Like 3 months time, the first offer.
And about 2 weeks later, I got back from there. I was like, wow.
After joining the course, after a few weeks later, I got the job also.
I did the Azure AZ900 exam and I passed.
The score I got like 85.7%.
I just prepare for the exam like he instructed us, and then I clear it.
Live classes definitely helps me because as soon as I have doubt, I can ask him.
But with the help of K21 sessions and all, so these are very much aligned with the industry demands actually.
I was like so glad I joined the K21 Academy.
Let me share my full screen and let me make myself presenter, big screen. Can someone confirm that? No. Okay, display settings, duplicate this setting. Let me move out. We have tons and tons of guys here. Let me pull out my chat as well. Brilliant. You can see my, yes, I can see. Superb, yes. And let me see my next screen as well. Can someone confirm? You can see the next screen or the top screen. Superb. Okay, so hey guys, hey everyone. This is today we are here for Agentic AI Mastery Roadmap, how to transition into $250K thousand plus jobs in AI. Today, I'm going to break it down today's session into two parts. First, we are going to look at Agentic AI specific, targeted for architects and developers or engineers. And then on the second part of this session, I'm going to bring my proven 3-step framework, which will go above and beyond Agentic AI, which is complete AI. How do you design, deploy, develop, or build, deploy, and manage AI agent, as well as for everything that you're going to see as well here. Now, before I say, just quick housekeeping, you all are muted for our side, and we have a big, huge group. We don't want to be distracted with chat and messages. I also happen to be this time an expert who's you're going to love and love him. I'm going to first 10-15 minutes, I'm going to set the scene, and then I'm going to hand it over to him. And then for the next part, which is 3-step framework, which we have attended, I've completely revamped it for 2026. So you're going to see lots of changes. If you're new, you're going to enjoy and you're going to love that as well. So as I said, you can't see each other, you can't speak, but you'll be chat window. My team will be answering all questions. Have our team who will be answering and helping. So keep those questions coming. I'm going to pick up these questions at each logical point. First 10 minutes or 15 minutes, I'm going to ask you to a lot of questions. Then we'll teach you something, and then we'll ask some questions, then we'll teach you something. So it'll be going to be like that. Let me know if you're all ready. Put in the chat window and say, yes, you are here with me. And just put in the chat window. Okay, is it no code? We're going to talk all these things, Umesh. Don't worry about it. Keep these questions coming here. Now, before we move forward, just put it chat window and say, where is everyone tuning it from? Just your country, where are you? So that I can see where my audience is coming. I'm based here in London, UK. I would love to know. I'm primarily from India, but I would love to know USA, so USA, India, Paris. Brilliant, Alal. Put in the chat window, where is everyone? India, Mumbai, US, India North. I'm from Delhi. Basically, but moved here in 2004 in UK, London, UK, brilliant. Is it only for engineers? No, we're going to look at project manager, program manager. You'll see all those things, guys. USA, Bangalore, USA. Tons of guys are from US. Any from Europe? There was from France, India, Texas, USA, Naveen, UK. Brilliant, guys. Thank you very much. This gives me an audience so that I can, when I talk about jobs, I can talk in that context as well. From India, brilliant. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my chat a little bit side here so that I can stay focused. And I'm going to pick up my team, as I said, answering questions, and an expert who's going to ask you or answer you as well on here. Now, who this class is for? As I said, anyone who is working in the IT professional or would like to move into IT, but as an AI, and who's looking to upskill on 250K plus. Now, I'm not saying that everyone will get a 250 immediately on that, but I have tons and tons of guys who are getting 250K plus or have earned 250K. And that's why we want to put into the brackets of, if you're a complete starter, expect something between 60 to 120K. If you're already working into, maybe if you're in that range, maybe start looking for upgrading yourself to 120 to 180K. If you're already into that 150, 160, maybe start looking, upgrading yourself into 180 to 250K. And if you're elite, like basically, if you're already working in 180 probably around that, then you start aiming towards 250K. But there are guys who have jumped from directly from pro to elite, which is 250K plus as well. So I want to know in the chat window here, let me know which bracket you see yourself hitting in 2026. So just put in the chat window and say in 2026, I want myself to be in this. Whatever your domain is, I want you to be in this domain, because that's how I'm going to set the scene. That's what I'm going to do. 250K is one. I love this. Expert, 150, 250K. C is expert, 250K in up to 250K. B, elite. I like that, Rohit. D, brilliant, elite. C, thanks. Keep going, pro. Yes, exactly like pro. Elite, pro. 300K, Vikram. I love this. This is now. I'm saying that if you set something yourself for a scene, that's what you should be aiming, and all your focus attention should be around that. Now, who we are targeting is basically is what is the main objective is the domain areas in which we are going to look at is AI, machine learning, data science, generative AI, agentic AI, prompt engineering, AI agent, anything and everything around that part. Whether we do it on AWS Cloud, Azure Cloud, Google Cloud, Oracle Cloud, OpenAI, ChatGPT, OpenAI, whatever the domain might be, or NVIDIA, whatever might be the domain. But we are going to talk everything about today in the context of AI, because that's where industry is moving. And if you look at the job role we are looking at is maybe a leadership roles or technical project manager, program manager roles, architects, developers, administrators, as I said, automation engineers, QA, business analysts, support, operations. There'll be everything for in today's. It's going to be for some part or other will be applicable for you. And as long as you are in this domain, you're going to love and enjoy this. And anyone, so we're going to talk about that as well. So this is what we are going to be. This is what the class is going to be. Now, as I said, there are tons and tons of job available. When we say AI, these are the job available for you: architects, consultant, developer, administrator, QA, business analyst, and someone is other. So I want you to, second question I want you to answer is which AI domain is you think is right for you. It may be you make a change later, but at this minute, what do you think? Is it A, B, C, D? Put in the chat window A, B, C, D in this context, so I can see and understand it, which domain it might be on for you. G, we're saying business analyst. E is administrator support. G, A is leadership, brilliant. There are a lot of A's. There are G, which is a business analyst, couple of business analysts. C, D, consultant, developer. Now, one thing I'll give you one tip. If you don't find anything, just put yourself as a consultant. That is a very generic thing. So you can become an AI consultant we will talk about as well. So data engineer, brilliant. But we are not going to talk about data engineer, but data engineer will play a big role in terms of AI, building AI pipelines and so on. EE, which is administrator support, MLOps, we're going to talk about. Brilliant. Superb, guys. This will give me an idea about when we're going to talk about in the context of what we're going to look at. So you will form somewhere or other, you'll be finding this session useful as well. That's the second question was about which domain. So what you're going to learn, I'm going to go fast a little bit here, but later part, we're going to go slow and explain you. So this is just to give a bird's eye view, 30,000 foot view, what we're going to cover here. So we'll first look at, or maybe during this session, entire session, what are some of the different AI job roles. We'll give you some job descriptions, what kind of a job roles are available, so you can see in action, because a lot of guys would, after discussing in 2025, was not even aware of that these kind of jobs are available as well. So we look at job roles. We're also going to look at the salaries you can expect, and then we could look at this entire agentic AI life cycle. Now, I speak very, very fast. So at any point in time, if I'm going fast, someone from Karthik or Ussa from my team, or Prashant, if you say slow me down, because as I said, I get excited, super duper excited, because I see and I speak very fast. So let me know if I go very, very fast, or if anything point is not clear to you. Yeah, Prashant. Okay, thank you. So we are also going to look at anatomy of autonomous system, and this is where I'm going to bring our expert on talking about autonomous systems. We'll also look at AI, not just what happened in 2023, 2024, 2025, but also 2026, and then not just limiting yourself to 2026 or beyond, like years to come. That's what we're going to look at as well. We're also going to look at, in this particular class for today, Agentic AI toolkit, but a lot of these things will be applicable for whether you're going for AI for leaders or architects, developers, business analysts, QA, whatever role you might be, a program manager, project manager. Some of these things will be applicable for you as well. Not only that, I don't want to limit myself on what is right now. I also want to go into what's future, which is A2A and MCPs, which are for how agents talk to each other. So that's what we're going to look at. We're also going to look at 5-phase learning path to go from a complete beginner who have no idea about what these are to becoming a really pro expert, so that when you attend the interviews, someone who is hiring, then they can say, yes, this is the guy. He knows what he's talking about. Looks like he has done it. even if you don't have any experience, we're going to teach and cover and explain you as well. I'm going to also give you this 12-week complete roadmap, mastery roadmap, so that you can learn confidently week by week by week. So you have a kind of a map, so you know what you're learning, how you're learning. Now I'll talk about 12-week, but depending on how much time you have, if you have more time, you can do 2 per week instead of maybe 1 per week. Or you can say, hey, I want to take it a little bit slow. So instead of having 1 per week, I might do 1 every 2 weeks and so on. So depending on what you flow, this is just a outline on 90% of our successful candidates. That's the path they follow. We'll also give away exactly, first I'm going to talk about is Agentic AI and 34 hands-on lab just for Agentic AI. Later part, I'm going to give you a little bit more in-depth if you want to become an expert or next level as well. So the 34 hands-on lab, including the projects. Now projects are key because when you're going to go for interviews, no one wants to hire someone who has just learned things. Everyone wants to hire someone who has done these things. And the one common challenge I see people saying is, hey, but I don't have any experience. So this is the experience we're going to talk about, is how you get experience by actually implementing, so that when you go to the interviews, you can show that, hey, you've done these real projects as well. So projects like actual real-time projects, so that not just a dummy project or something which are actually implementing at an enterprise level as well. So we'll talk about the project as well. So out of these, which I mentioned, put in the chat window one thing you are excited about, which I've mentioned about, whatever I've mentioned, or something you want to see. Maybe I'll bring in the next session, or if I have some material already here, or maybe we can talk about that as well. So put in the chat window, what is the most excited about on this topics which I've mentioned here, whatever you can think of, or you want to see, which is not here. Hands-on project, AI Agentic, create real life project, which you're presenting. I'm not sure. Okay, what do you mean by Rohit? We'll check that. Projects. A lot of guys are want to do project. By the way, AI prediction model for industrial brilliant, Agentic AI, APIs, 34 hands-on lab, real project. Now you'll be also towards after this class, all those who've registered on here, I'm going to also next 2, 3, 4 days, I'm going to give you the step-by-step projects which we have shared, which might be available on my YouTube channel. So we're going to go a little bit deeper into, so you can see not only now today, but also learn from. So keep an eye on email inbox as well. Now, once this is done, I'm going to bring you, this is where I think our expert, he's going to talk about all these things. But I'm going to, once this is done, maybe around 1 hour mark, or maybe depending on how many questions we get, around 60 to 90-minute mark, that is where I'm going to put forward my 3-step framework to earn 250K 1,000+ jobs. And this is real, it's possible, doable, and hundreds of guys are doing this 3-step framework. Those who have seen it in 2024 or 2025, we are in 2026, we are taking it to the extreme next level as well. You'll see some more things as well. So this is a 3-step framework on how to get 250K+ job, and it really works as well, proven and tested as well. So this is what we're going to talk about. This is an example of Steve, who got a job as an AI engineer using this 3-step framework. Similarly, you have Debashish, who got a job as a cloud engineer. So this is all, as I said, 3-step framework is tried and tested. Steve getting a job as AI engineer. Debashish, another one. SJ, her husband got a new job and she almost doubled her salary as well. Shrija, after struggling to find a job in Canada after a long time, she used the same method in September. She like you attended one of these free classes and started working with us in September 2024. This is her January 2025 landed a job in AI/ML after struggling to land a job after a very, very long time. Once this is about job, but we do it by using LinkedIn. Take an example of LinkedIn profile optimization, one methodology. We'll also look at how do you build your brand, how do you build authority by posting LinkedIn, so that when you go for the interviews, the interviewer already know about you, or they can see that you have done these things. So we'll go to look at some of the case studies or examples that you're going to show, so that you become an authority, not like someone who's desperate for the job. And this is what will happen if you follow this. Like JC mentioned here, recruiters started reaching out within 1 hour. We'll see tons and tons of these case studies and examples that you see. We'll also talk about, in the second half part, is about 5 resume mistakes that's costing you for no interview call or very limited calls. If you're getting less than 60% of interview calls, which means you're applying for 10 jobs, and anything you're getting less than 6 interview calls, that means there's something you're doing, those mistakes you go to take away as well. We're going to talk about the second half part as well. So that you be like profile where Amol, like that, so that you can see your profile is being shortlisted for interviews. We'll also look at Kritesh example, 6 screening calls, and 1 interview calls. So this is all about, I'm talking about is proven, tested, tried and tested method as well. So you're going to learn all of these as well. So with that, why you should be listening me. A lot of guys already are familiar, but tons and tons of guys new in 2026. So why you should be listening me? I said, I'll keep it short, quick to the point. I've close to 2.5 decades of IT experience. I started my career back in India, came here in the UK in 2004, and my first 4-5 years are very, very tough. But since then, there's no looking back. If you look at some of the clients I've worked across the globe, here in the UK, WorldPay, or Royal Bank of Scotland, or Scottish government, but then in Brussels, Toyota in Brussels, I have ICC in Switzerland. I also have, as far as in US, DataVale, Genpact, Tucson Electric Powers, Imperial College in London, as well as far as Middle East in Bank of Somalia, Saudi Railways, Bank of Somalia. So these are some of the clients I've worked. So whatever you're going to learn and see is coming from real experience. But don't think, oh, I'm any different or I'm something who've achieved. No, I'm exactly like you. Started my first job. This is my first job back in 2000, 2001, 2002. I started less than $100 a month. This is my first salary, 9,000, 8,000 rupees. In fact, I got a hike. My first salary back in, and I stayed on that salary for till 2002. If you convert in Indian rupees to dollars, less than or just shy of $100 a month. From there, I moved, as I said, first 4 or 5 years were very, very tough, but I worked very, very hard, extremely hard. I moved to here in UK, working with Imperial College London. And this is my first contracting in 2005, 2000 November, which I'll be telling you my story a little bit and towards. This is my first contract gig, stayed for that role on for almost now for 1.5, 2 years, 425 a day. From there, I went into 500, 700, 900. I don't share my now what I'm earning right now. I work with multiple clients because people get nervous. People don't even believe or think that it's possible. But trust me, if you're good, one thing I've realized after working all these 25 years is if you're good, money will follow. So rather than you following money, become best in what you do, and I can guarantee you that money will follow. And I'm saying I'm not the only one which who've done it. This has been tried and tested by hundreds of others as well. And I'm also not saying it was all hanky-fanky good. It was all up. But tons and tons of mistakes I did. So one takeaway, if you take today's class is, hey, make sure that you don't make the mistakes which I did. I'm going to talk about mistakes I did in 2005, then 2012, 2016, 17, couple of mistakes I did. I wish someone should have given me or told me those mistakes, how to avoid them. So whatever you take away is take away those, they say, learn from others' mistakes. I wish. So this is what I'm going to talk about as well. Now, as I was telling you, I used to teach this 3-4 years back, and people used to see or tell me, oh, you're different, or you've already achieved it, or you started early, and all those misconceptions, like all those things which goes in our head about it. But what I'm going to talk about is, as I said, this 3-step framework has been proven and tested from all backgrounds, all over the world as well. So I started my a consulting company back in 2011-12 here in the UK. First, I did it to build my own team because I realized that, hey, I alone can't achieve everything. So I built a team and we did it to impart my team. And since then, 2017-18, I started realizing that, hey, whatever I achieved for my big team, we've grown team to big team. And then I realized, hey, I can explain the same thing to others guys as well. And that's where we started this whole journey about since 2017-18, doing an extreme different in the last 7-8 years. Dinesh, example, got a job and I'm going to tell you about different extremes. I have hundreds and hundreds of results, proven results. These are the guys inside my WhatsApp group community where people are sharing these results. So Dinesh got a job as a program manager and being a technical program manager. This is Shovik, got a job as a financial architect, in Bank of America as a senior enterprise architect. This is Kennedy here in the UK, got a job as a senior technical advisor. Also job as a Shruti, as a mid-senior. You'll see me going all extremes, right from a senior, very, very senior level to very, very junior level as well. Shruti secured a job as a software engineer, mid-senior. This is Jobby. You might be thinking, oh, but I've applied, not getting interview calls. So later part, when I talk about the mistakes you might be seeing, you might see like Jobby, no interview call to multiple job offers in 3 weeks or 2 weeks. But again, he coming from an experience. Also, you might be saying, hey, but I have a career gap. This is Meghna. She's again here in the UK. And after being a gap, from confused to career gap to working with British Telecom here in the UK. There's another one, Raz Lakshmi, career gap from Infosys. Another one here, Roni, not confident to super confident. We'll talk about shares What they did it to not becoming not confident, super confident as well. Again, another one, Obina, oh my God, got job offer. Now, the reason I'm telling you is that because people come and they think, oh, either not for me, oh, I can't achieve it, oh, it's all fluff. I'm telling you these results because to believe in yourself that you can do it. If others can do it, I can do it as well. So as I said, not 1, 2, 3. From last 6, 7 years, we've been doing it for thousands and thousands of individuals like you. And I've said proven, tested method now since I think I've lost count in 2023, 2024, we had around more than 45,000 plus successful results as well. So I'm going to talk about this 3-step framework second half once we talk about agentic AI, because what you need to first learn is what's hot in the market, technical bit. Then I'm going to talk about once you know how to go from not confident to super confident, then I'm going to talk about the next challenges you might have come across. So with that, as I said, I speak very, very fast. I get excited about it. Out of these 3 things, which is about not confident to becoming super confident, or hey, I'm not getting interview call, no interview call to multiple interview calls, or hey, I'm not getting job offer, I'm getting interview calls to not getting job offers. I just want it, if you write down where's the maximum challenge, you can write more than 1. Try to do 2, because that will help me, because you can't have all 3. Either it could be 1 and 2 or 2 or 3 or 3 or whatever, 1 and 3, you know, you are covered on interviews, you know how to handle interviews, getting interview calls, but you know to clear them because of. So I want you to write down preferably 2 or 1 or 2, but no more, not all 3, because some people write down all 3 as well. So no interview calls, same problem, career gap. So Gaurav, we're going to stay here. I'm going to talk about how you can do as well. Monisha, no interview call, which is you stay on second part of that. No interview calls from we're going to stay career gap. Kalai, I've tried and tested career gap. A lot of you guys are wow. I didn't realize that so many career gap. Career background 2 and 3, Aslam. So Aslam, brilliant. So you stay on the second half if you look like you're already confident. Guys, again, put your chat window. These 6 I get excited because career transition. Soumya, what do you mean by career transition? Is it one problem? So you might be going on a career transition, but are you facing problem 1 or 2 or 3? For us, no recent success in DevOps roles as an AVP, because DevOps is moving towards AI. MLOps are coming. You need to change. So whatever worked 2 years back, 3 years back is not going to work now, because market has shifted completely. So what used to work in DevOps 4, 5, 10 years back, because I started my DevOps journey in 2011, 12, and now it's more than 10, 12 years. So things have changed since then. These are the things you may not aware of market, and that might be the reason. Okay, a couple of guys, brilliant guys. So that's where, as I said, I'm going to pick up on. I'm going to cover all this in the second part of this journey on. So with that, I'm going to make sure that you make this session workshop interactive, focus, and ask tons and tons of questions, because the reason being is the more engaged you are, I want next 90 minutes or so to be super duper brilliant. So when you finish this call or this session with me, you say, wow, these are the guys. Wow. I learned something here. Don't just walk away with simply listening and not implementing anything. Learn, stay attentive, focused, ask ton of questions, because time is the most important currency. I told to all my clients, you can get money anytime. What you don't get is time back. So make sure that you use next 90 minutes, whatever time you're going to stay. I'm going to stay here as long as it takes, because for me, you guys have given me so much time here, hundreds and hundreds. Like I think we are already hitting 200 plus guys on here. You have given time to me. It's my duty and responsibility to make sure that I finish today's class, however long it takes, to answer everyone's question, wherever humanly possible, please. Okay, so with that, focus, ask questions. I'm going to hand it over to now our expert, Prashant. He's going to do magic. You'll see. Over to you, Prashant, buddy. Okay, let me make you presenter, or can someone on my team make him presenter? Let me stop sharing. Alpha, we're going to cover all this, guys. How to, can someone on my team make a note of all these questions and pick salary, career, these first, because technical we can teach. What more important is mindset or salary, career gap, those are, or nervousness. These are more important than as well. Confident applying due to knowledge, but not having it IT background. We're going to talk about as well. In T, then you're not confident applying. That means you have to upskill yourself. Okay. In Kubernetes, how Agentic AI will help. We'll talk about that, ZH. All over my AI models, AI machine learning models, deploy on containers and Kubernetes is an option, or you can do VM or containers with Kubernetes. MLOps has a big part in Kubernetes as well. So with that, Prashant, over to you, buddy.
Okay, thank you. Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Good morning.
Yes,
thank
you
you
are.
so much.
How long the session will last, first and second up, I don't know, Rizwan. As I said, for me, I wanted to finish as quickly as possible, but I don't want to do any shortcuts. Whatever it takes, without delaying the things. Okay, whatever it takes. Over to you, Shan.
Okay. Is this fine, or do I need to make it full screen? I think.
No, I think this is perfect. This is perfect.
Okay. Okay, so welcome everyone once again. And today we are not just learning about AI, we are also going to learn about how to build the future. That's how I would open today. And this image that you see here represents exactly what Agentic AI is all about. You can say multiple intelligent components working all together with well orchestrated machines like that. And just like these robotic arms that you see here, and these collaborate to build something very complex. Similarly, agentic AI also works together to accomplish goals autonomously. So that's the most powerful word, autonomously. Okay, without being explicitly mentioned, coded, instructed. That's the meaning of autonomy here. Okay, so the main message is this discussion is not just about another course that we are going to push. We are here to learn something, what is going to be the next big thing in the future. Okay, so this is all about becoming a builder. Okay, someone who can architect, design, deploy AI systems that think, plan, and act independently. So these are the three major components. Okay, and your path from beginner to this builder mindset, you can say, okay, starts right here. Okay, so let me give some more context here. Okay, so let's talk about numbers. And
okay, what I'm going to do is, guys, I'm going to interrupt in the middle on point just to set the scene as well. Now, a lot of guys come and say, hey, ask me the question, hey, is it going to be future? How big is the market? Will I get a good at salaries? Am I going to be better than what I am right now? Will my experience go waste? What I've learned? Answer is none of them. All of, just to say, Prashant is good to see that, but market is much, much bigger than you and I can think of, even imagine. And what I could imagine couple of 2 years, 3 years, when I started my journey in AI, especially I started with machine learning, AI came late in 2019, 20, I never thought it's going to be so big. But then the more we go into, enter into, it's becoming bigger and bigger and bigger, every touch point that you see. Second question is, hey, what will happen to my existing experience? Whatever you're covering, my existing knowledge of whatever I've done is being implemented and used here as well. So with that context, over to you, Prashant. Okay.
Yeah, thank you. So yeah, I was talking about some numbers here, and that is very important. Let's talk about your opportunity in this case. Okay, we are looking at a 30 billion market by 2028. But here's what is really exciting. 65% of these enterprises are planning agentic AI pilots, co-pilots, you can say, by 2025 end or in 2026 end, definitely. Okay, and this is not the future. I mean, this is right now. Okay, this is all happening right now with all these enterprises. They just want to implement all these agentic systems, get their systems sorted, and have these things implemented. So this 30 billion plus market is not just an hype. Major companies like Microsoft, Google, Salesforce, banking giants, they are already investing billions. So I have been doing a lot of consulting for a few of the companies, in fact banks like JP Morgan Chase very recently, and prior to that I have also done a lot of trainings for Bank of America, Synchrony Bank, you might have heard. I have also done some projects for Zopa Bank UK. So banking is one domain which puts a lot of money, and they are the ones as the initial investors in any of the new tech, as you can see. Early adopters, I would say that's the right word. And that gives benefit to everyone, right? So that also kind of validates the potential, the market. Okay, so as you can see, AI is no longer just an assistant. I mean, people are looking at AI systems to be a end-to-end kind of an employee. You can see the title itself is AI is evolving from a brilliant intern. Intern was like an assistant to a proactive employee. So I have also seen a lot of people posting on LinkedIn that they have created 1% AI company, 1% AI companies. Okay. And all the job roles from, let's say, the marketing, the sales, making creatives, finance, okay, HR, every single uh, department is one agent altogether. Okay, so they have crew of agents, one or more agents per department, and they are all coordinating each with each other synchronously, anonymously, okay, with least manual effort, and they are able to, literally function in a sync such that it behaves like a company altogether. So that's what. So generative AI is not just a skilled consultant anymore. Okay, we are leveraging that power of generative AI, creating agents on top of it, so that this agentic AI is now going to act like a very skilled employee. So in generative AI, we just generate content. Now, content could be simply generating emails, generating some jingles for your brand, generating some, you can say stories, user stories, some use cases, some application notes, okay, or creating blogs, articles, something like that. Okay, so whether you create text, images, or a combination of all these, what we call as multimodal now. Okay, now people are able to generate end-to-end videos. You can see most of the shots these days. Okay, they are heavily populated by these generative AI tools, or you can say models. Okay, so almost every single video shot, YouTube shot or Instagram, reel, whatever, where you do not see a human is literally generated by a Gen AI model these days. Okay. And even there are Gen AI models which are impersonating humans. They create a human-like figure like Prashant, you can say, which is a model made like Prashant's avatar, you can say, very much. Okay. And literally in 1 or 2 seconds, whenever they flash, you will not be able to make out that this is not even Prashant. It's his avatars, speaking in this entire reel. That's the way things are going in the branding, advertisement, marketing, and so on. Even modeling, that you have AI models now. Okay. Anyway, so going back, so agentic AI is now a skilled employee. You can say from entire data analysis to model building. It will help you to even do the deployment to scaling. So things are getting heavily automated. So the moment I use heavily automated, there are two things which come into picture. One is, what are you automating? Okay. Does the company or enterprise have a clear workflow which has been validated by a human team that this is exactly what we want to automate? That's what we call as the workflow automation.
So I think, again, sorry to interrupt again, Prashant, on this. I'm going to give you some examples for everyone, guys. And again, as I said, is for me, given that I wanted to drive it quickly and faster on key points, which I'm going to do today. So from your point of view, what you do see is, hey, I'm working on a banking sector or fintech sector or telecom sector or a healthcare sector or a, for example, legal system or supply chain management. How I'm going to use these AI system that I'm going to do, agentic AI that I'm going to use. So take an example, all my insurance sector. So someone to say whether it's insurance, should we approve or not approve? Should I give them someone a finance or basically legal aid? Someone should get it. At what level they should be doing? I'm summarizing my legal contract that basically summarization of that legal thing. Similarly, on fintech, if I'm doing a finance, should I approve that person's loan and not approve? Why should I approve? Why should I not approve? There are any industry can pick up. How do I put using those large language models or things? And then that is what we're going to look at later part a little bit. Prashant is going to show some examples. Over to you again. Sorry, Prashant, for crashing a little bit in the mid. Yeah.
No. So that's a very valid discussion that we were having. Okay. So what I was talking about is the progression from just being able to generate content, which is what you see here on the left side. Now taking all that content to make it more meaningful, more functional, more autonomous. And that's where the agentic AI comes into picture. So what is agentic AI? So we have been knowing about a traditional AI. In the traditional AI, we used to build machine learning, deep learning models, largely with the end goal of doing predictive analytics. We wanted to predict some classes, categories. Let's say this image is Prashant's image or Atul's image classification, text classification, sentiment analysis, or regression problems like predicting numbers, sales focus. To employ a machine learning model or a deep learning model, doesn't matter. At the end, it's a predictive analytics job. Okay, it could be a bit more complicated when you talk about object tracking and those things, but largely that's what the traditional AI encompassed all about. Okay, which included natural language processing and computer vision, or a combination of these two. So we moved from traditional AI to generative AI. That's where we started generating content. Okay, so in traditional AI, we were only doing predictive analytics. We were not generating any new content. We were not predicting some content, or we were predicting the future, but that was based on the past historical data, and we wanted some inputs to predict the future outputs. Okay, but in generative AI, we are just generating content which looks similar to what the model has seen during the training phase. Okay, and the third phase is now what we are calling it as the agentic AI. So traditional AI, generative AI, and now agentic AI. So agentic AI means what? Okay, now that we have predictive models, we have content generation models, what is agentic AI essentially going to do now? Okay, so here you can see the autonomy part is there. Okay, we don't have to explicitly direct the models to do and behave exactly in a predefined way. Okay, now the models will take decisions on their own. They will think, they will reason, they will make decisions. What will be the next step, or what is the more appropriate type of content in such a scenario? Even though it's generating content, but it's not generating a static predefined content. That content generation itself could be very much varied based on what kind of input it has got. So it's adapting in real time to its environment, to its inputs, to its previous decisions as well, and also doing replanning. It's not that the entire thing is so very well, orchestrated. So it can even do replanning. So that's what we call as a agentic AI. Okay, which can. And the fourth component, so think, reason, and decide is one thing. And the fourth and most important word, I would now spell it out, okay, is execution, which is what makes agentic AI different from the previous AI systems that we have been creating. So now the agentic AI is able to execute. How does it execute? Of course, by using some tools that we'll see in the coming slides. But we have empowered these models with some tools. Now these models know that to perform a task, I need to do something. Okay, so I'll give a very simple example. Let's say I go to a model, let's say a chatbot is deployed on a bank website. Simple. A chatbot is deployed on a bank's website. Okay, I do the login. So basically the chatbot knows that I'm an authenticated user. Most likely the chatbot also knows my account ID details and some of the basic things. It may not have access to every single thing, but at least a read-only access to some basic details. Fine. My first simple question is, what is my current account balance? I don't think this should be difficult for the chatbot to figure it out, since I'm an authenticated user and chatbot would have my account details, at least the account ID. But all the reasoning, thought process is all being done by models. And models have no idea who Prashant is, what his account ID is, and so on, right? Because they have been only trained on a historical data. So model reasons, okay, it starts in a thinking loop. Okay, Prashant is asking for his current account balance. Fine. But the account balances are typically stored in some database. Okay, let me check which all databases I have access to. Okay, so there is a database which is already containing the current or the latest account balances of all the customers. Fine. But do I have access to that database? Yes, I have access to. And for that, I need to write down a SQL query. So let me just check what is the schema of that database. What are the names of the tables? What are the names of the columns? Do I have access to those details? Yes, I have access to the details of the tables and the columns. So let me write down a SQL query with those exact table and column names, which when executed by a tool will exactly give me that number, whatever is the account balance. Okay. So what is the model doing in this case? Model has the reasoning capabilities. It's able to check what all tools it has under its kitty, and then it is able to identify which is the most appropriate tool for a given task, because it may have access to 25 different tools. So model also has to know which is the most appropriate tool for this particular task. And finally, how will that tool get executed? Okay, so that execution part is out of the model. Okay, but that's exactly what we call as the agent. So agent has a model plus a tool executor. A combination of these two is called as an agent. If you are only using models for creating, doing something, it's not an agent. When does it become an agent? Technically, when you have a model.
So in a simple terms, again, sorry to interrupt on this point, I'm saying is that AI used to be something which we were initially hard coded on a model to going into generative AI last 2-3 years, and now it's going agentic AI, which is automatic or autonomously taking decisions based on realizing what a user want to be. Yeah, he's very good in teaching, no doubt about it. I know Prashant because he's been doing my leadership or AI leadership, agentic AI as well. He goes very deep into that point. But over to you. Yep, brilliant. Over to you, Prashant.
Yeah. So just moving ahead. So then the model thinks that yes, this is the tool that I have to execute. The model will write down the SQL query, and that SQL query will be given to a function which will be executed locally in a sandbox, and then the value will be returned. And what does the model do then? Take that number and does not spit out that number directly. Okay, model knows that I am a chatbot. Okay, so I'm supposed to reply helpfully, professionally. Okay, so Prashant, good to see you again. This is your current account balance. How can I help you more if you need? So something like that. Okay, that's exactly how things would go.
So if you go back, sorry, again, just to go on previous slide, if you do, we'll recap on. So we started with something on very analytical, that kind of a machine learning AI, to now generative AI, which is you generate text, you generate video, you generate image, you generate story, you generate code, whatever you generate in last 2-3 years. Now from there into 2025 and 2026, you will see that more and more agentic or autonomous, where these automated systems or AI agents are going to take decisions on your behalf intelligently and doing a lot of functions that a human being used to be doing it. So that is in a nutshell, we are transitioning from used to be old method to generative AI to now agentic AI autonomous systems as well. Am I right, Prashant, or you want to add something on?
Absolutely. Yes, yes.
Correct. I hope this is making sense, guys. Over to you next. Let's move on to the next slide, guys.
Yes.
Now keep asking questions. If he's unnecessary, he's brilliant and he'll go very deep. I want to also make sure that I use your time very wisely. Over to you. Yeah, Prashant.
Yeah. So yes, I mean, agentic AI refers to the intelligence. This is exactly what I have already discussed. They will learn, adapt, plan, and also reason. And on top of it, they will also help you to execute the task. It's not only reasoning and planning. I mean, this could have been done earlier also. They were being done, but the main power of an agent is it will be able to also execute the fulfillment part. And that's exactly what makes the agentic AI so relevant today now. Okay, because it is able to do the tasks pretty well. Okay, so anatomy of the autonomous system. So there are three main things you can see here. One is the planning and reasoning, which is heavily powered by your models. Okay, the large language models, language vision model, LVM. Okay, and multimodal models now. Okay, so the core will be always your brain, which is nothing but the models. Models will have these planning and reasoning capabilities. Also, we need some memory, which will, there is a working memory and there is a long-term memory. So working memory means what all previous questions Prashant has asked on the chatbot. That's a working memory. It remembers the context. What is the current conversation going about? Long-term memory is all about the database access. Right now, I gave an example. It will go back and look in the previous 10 days what all Prashant has asked, or what are the relevant documents I have access to. From there, it will fetch the relevant context and then answer, rather than simply bluffing out any answer. Okay, and then tools. So what are tools? Exactly, I mentioned a couple of minutes back. Whatever the models reason and plan, they should be able to execute. So in this case, let's say the models don't have the information about the latest events, what happened just yesterday. It will have access to web search tool. It will fire a query on the web and retrieve the results. It will read the results, and from those results find out the answers. So it is not going to just populate the user with, here are your search results. That's dumb. Now it is actually going to click into each of those web pages, read the results web page, go inside them, find the relevant information, summarize them, and then craft end message, okay, for the user. That's exactly what these agents are able to do now. Database queries, I gave an example. It writes down the SQL query and is able to execute. Okay, APIs are there, different connectors for different servers. Okay, code execution, sandboxes. Okay, so
sorry, can you go back to the previous slide? This is important, guys. Pay attention to that. I'm just doing a quick recap on this, and ask me questions if you have, or we're going to cover later part when we go second half. We're going to talk about. But think of, I'm a human being. Take an example of, think of agent like a human, real human being. So they have a brain. They now use different parts of that. So I'm going to go on my own logical left brain, right brain, logical brain, and thinking brain as well. So I'm going to use those. Behind then, these are all powered by models, like basically different models. As one said, ChatGPT, OpenAI has a ChatGPT or GPT models, Claude, Anthropic, Llama, you might have been hearing. Now, in order for me to retain memory is required, already mentioned, but I need to go to talk to my databases. I could go to talk to execute some code, invoke something, and that's where you see the right-hand side tools integrations. I'm going to go and search on this. Is it all making sense? Put in the chat window. So this is what you need to learn and understand. This is how you're going to be implementing, and this is how I'm going to do all my, whether finance, telecom, banking, supply chain management, my own thing as well. And we'll see some of these things we are already implementing. Is it all making sense? Put in the chat window. Let's move, Prashant. Let's take one for questions. This is what AI agent or Agentic AI is going to do. Earlier, you used to build it. Now, AI agents are going to do it autonomously by giving some instructions and so on. Over to you, Prashant. Let's move on to the next part. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks. Yeah.
So we are currently at a massive turning point in AI maturity. So most people are still playing around with level 1 or 2, as you see here. Level 0 is reactive systems creating basic chatbot. That used to happen somewhere from 90s till 2010. Then became a bit more intelligent by using standard chat GPT with limited memory. So still people are playing around with level 1 and level 2, as I mentioned, with some basic plugins like web search, RAG tool, and so on, you can say. But a frontier where the real value is, that is being built right now. That is a level 3 and level 4, okay? Autonomous task agents and multi-agent systems. And that is exactly the space we are going to be building today, okay? The next couple of weeks, the next couple of months. And what is the future? Okay, so where adaptive learning starts, I mean, it means these models will have all the informations, and from that it will be able to learn on their own. And you can see a heavy automation happening, not just the training, even the training itself will get automated these days. Okay, training, then deployment will get heavily automated these days. Even deployment is there, but they're manually controlled, monitored very closely. But all of these pieces will become more and more automated. So humans will be still needed to oversee the whole process, to make sure that things are working as expected. Okay, there is no drift from the expected behaviors, let's say. And that is where you will need the experts, the real experts who have been there, done that. Okay, not simply people who are bluffing that I know this, I know that. Okay, so that's the summary here.
So as I said, add is now those who were earlier 2022, 2023, people say, oh, but like basically whatever used to done, we are just very, very still, I believe, very infancy stage of what have been done. If you see what's coming in 2026, 2027, 2028, a later part, you go to see how agent talking to each other. Multi-agent is already there, but the next version of that is these agents learning automatically on their own and then improving and behaving. And you are the one who will be building or implementing a lot of those changes that you'll be doing. Now, one question is keep coming is, hey, will there be replay? I'll see if we do pretty good. If Prashant do good job, I do good job, and you do 5-star, then I'll share the recording. So that's my something. I don't want to do something or share something which is not good. But my promise is that, as I said, we both have spent lots of time onto this. I wanted to provide as much information as useful without cutting corners on this. Over to you, buddy. Yeah, Prashant, over to you.
So people are often confused with workflow versus agents, I would say. Okay, because sometime back also I was talking about workflows, and recently I've been talking about the agents. Okay, there's a huge difference. So workflow is like a train on a track. Okay, it follows a predefined path that you have coded. Now that path may not always be linear, as you see. There could be branching out, there could be branching and then merging, as you see here, and there could be multiple different tracks and the patterns in which these branches are branching and merging and so on. But more or less things are well defined. Okay, and at each, so earlier, I mean, prior to ChatGPT, okay, Zapier was doing fantastic job, because Zapier is all about workflow automation. Okay, at each of these blocks, you can say, or we can also call as nodes, you had different components. So email used to come in from your Gmail, used to be read, populate a spreadsheet, go to HubSpot, create a new lead in the CRM. A number of things are happening, maybe parallelly together, sequential way, but Zapier was doing all of these already. There was no intelligence. Now each of the same workflow is powered by brain. Brain of what? These large language models. So now Zapier itself is using these LLMs in all of this workflow automation. In fact, Zapier is using these models to create workflows. Okay, not just powered by workflows. These workflows are not just powered by models. They are creating workflows using these models these days. Okay, but ultimately the workflow is well-defined path. That's one line summary. But what is an agent then? Agent is more like a driver in a car. It sees the road, reacts to the traffic, and also changes its own path based on the feedback it is getting from the environment. That's the most important difference. Okay, so you can see here there is a LLM call. It made some action. That action was given to the tool. Tool will do the execution based on the output of that tool's execution. Okay, that output is given back to the LLM as an observation. And if LLM thinks that, okay, whatever the tool has given me is good to go, then it will exit. Otherwise, if it is still not able to get the desired output, it may want to repeat that entire process. So just to connect it to the previous example that I was giving with the bank chatbot. Okay, so once the tool call for the SQL query execution was made, if Prashant's current account balance was successfully retrieved, then the LLM knows that, okay, I've got a number and this is Prashant's query. Now let's reply Prashant whatever he wanted to hear. But if the tool call gave some result which is maybe error in the SQL query, the SQL query did not execute, whatever, that feedback goes to the model, and then model knows, okay, what could have got wrong? Do I need to change the SQL query? Do I need to refine it? Whatever. Based on that, a new refined SQL query would be generated, and that process might happen 3-4 iterations until the correct number is retrieved. And that's what an agent is.
Super. Prashant, I'm going to interrupt you for a minute here. So first of all, guys, we should have given a definition. If you go back to the previous slide, stay on that slide. It's brilliant. So a couple of questions I'm going to pick up. LLM stands for large language model. So these large language models in simple terms are someone like OpenAI, someone like Google, someone like Microsoft, someone like Facebook. They collected internet scale data and trained some on based on the data and created a model. Model is nothing. Think of it as like something's going to do something, output. So those large languages based on the huge amount of data, they build something and that is doing some work for you in a simple layman's term. That's what we are talking about large language model here. Nowadays there are small language models. There are a lot of language models are coming, but in simple terms, that's what this terminology is. Now someone is asking make.com is an agentic AI. I wouldn't put into make or Zapier or tools like that in a true agentic. They are more on a workflows, workflow tools rather than AI agent. Maybe over a period of time, they might start evolving or doing and bringing them. But as of now, and that's why a lot of guys say, oh, do you cover make N8? And we do have, but those are workflows, automation. We're doing it for since 7-8 years already on. So those are not true agentic AI. What you're going to see agentic AI, we'll see in a minute. Okay, over to you, Prashant. Let's keep going. Guys, also keep sending the questions. I'm going to take each logical point and something is missing. Now, next is to create agents. Do we need to code Python or Java or some language? Now, actually, agents, you can do whatever language you want to create for developing. But Python is much more common these days. But then you have a .NET, that you have a Java, that whatever language you want to, you can do it. Now, it's not only just for developers. A lot of guys say, hey, for me to learn agentic AI, do I need to be developer? Answer is no, depending on what role you're playing on. If you're playing a developer role, then yes, you need to developer. But there are guys who needs to design the model like these agents. You need business analysts to look at and say requirement collection and saying, I want to use those agents. Also, you need then someone to design architects. You also need developers, of course. Then you need someone to deploy them, and that is where my administrators, ops guy comes into picture. You need some testers to QA and test them. You need someone, an operations person to day-to-day manage that. So there's a whole hierarchy. You need the way you are doing software development, software management, exactly what you need to do as well. Then you can deploy it either on cloud or on-premise. We'll see that a little bit later, that we teach you on deploying it on AWS Cloud, Azure Cloud, Google Cloud, Oracle Cloud. You can deploy on-premise as well. You can deploy in virtual machines. You can deploy in containers and Kubernetes. You can deploy on the agent platforms that are available in the market. So anything and everything that you can do. So yes, guys, I'm not saying that these N8 or Make can't do or doing, but they were started as a workflow. They're more and more incorporating. Everyone is trying to do the buzzword or bandwagon. Over to you, Prashant. Let's continue from here. Guys, also keep forwarding. I'm slightly behind, but hope we are going right pace right now. If you go too fast, I don't go too fast. At the same time, I don't want to go low fast as well. Then will agents do the coding as well? Yes, agent can do the coding. It's already there. So like there's a development code. There's a code execution, testing. They can do the testing. They can even do the whole project plan as well. All those things are available already. May not be as mature as you might need to do the human intervention. You might do the security, all those things. But you will be amazed by the kind of advancement has happened. Over to you, buddy. Over to you, Prashant.
Yeah. So in the beginning, we built single agents to do, single specialist kind of tasks. Okay. But now we are moving towards AI teams. That's what I was talking about at the start. So imagine a coder agent which writes a code, and then you have a tester agent which is trying to break it. Okay. Test each and every edge cases, end cases, and a manager agent which makes sure that the entire project stays on track, right? So this is all about moving from a solo operator to a collaborative workforce, I would say. Yeah. So there are different patterns as you see, and we'll be learning about these patterns in a separate course that we will be talking about soon. So this is what people are doing now. Okay, it's no longer all about creating standalone agents. They would be, not having much use these days. The real fun and the real enterprise grade becomes only when you are combining the workforce of these agents, okay, and doing a end-to-end enterprise grade job. So there are a lot of real world.
So sorry, again, we go back. Let me take a few questions. They are very interesting questions. Okay, so first was about someone with a tech background knowledge. How do I start? We're going to cover that in a minute. That's exactly what we're going to cover, Anthony. Rohit is saying, does this mean that DevOps will be dead in future? No, nothing. Whatever is happening, nothing is going to be dead. It's a transition. It's an evaluation. Like evolving on. So it might be instead of DevOps, it could be MLOps, like we are doing. So we already have CI and CD. Those are coming from a DevOps background. You're doing continuous integration, continuous delivery. There's an additional thing now. Continuous integration will be there, but there's a continuous training as well. CI, CD, and CT as well will be there. With Oracle Fusion Technical, how come I start now? For those who are coming from Oracle Fusion or SaaS, these SaaS applications already started building Agentic AI. They've already incorporating. And these SaaS who's coming from Oracle Fusion, take an example. There are multiple discrete systems. They're talking to each other as well. Someone is saying LLM ops, absolutely. LLM ops, AI ops, All these things we're going to cover. So keep posting these questions. I'm going to take up logical point. Over to you, Prashant. Let's continue from here. Okay? Yes, there are these are different new roles, job roles that are coming, evolving. Now, these are some of the use cases. This is what you should be putting in your resume when you go. Now, depending on what kind of a job role you're applying, if you're applying where a company is more consulting, you can do mix and match. If it's a fintech company, if you're applying, or you're going finance related, if you're going for HR related, everyone has HR role. HR probably e-commerce. If you're going for a company for e-commerce, these are some of the use cases which are actually real world situations that are being implemented. Over to you, Prashant. Okay, guys, keep these questions coming. My team has already started forwarding me. There are tons and tons of questions. I'm going to love this today. Over to you, Prashant. Okay.
Yeah, so we have already talked about the real world.
So I'll quickly cover that, or maybe we'll go a little bit later. I'm going to pick one of the use cases later. We'll cover customer service. But one of the most common challenge, people come and say, hey, I'm applying, but companies expect experience. Now, gone were the days where you have to implement, get a job and get experience. Nowadays, all these things you can do on your own as well on cloud. That's what I'm going to show it to you as well. You can build end to end and then put it on your resume as an experience that you've done these as a proof of concept, or you've done with your current employment as well. This is what we're going to cover. Over to you, buddy.
Correct. So instead of just simply boasting that I know this, I know that, no one is just going to bother about what you know. Show me, buddy, what you have done. That's the one line powerful message that we are trying to give here. Okay, just show me two enterprise grade projects that you have done. Literally 70% of the entire interview will hover around that project. And if you're able to justify what you have done nicely, you are done. I mean, that's the, break point. Okay. Fine. So I've already mentioned that instead of, already there are a lot of tutorials and theory and a lot of buzzes are there. Content is no longer a big deal. Okay, people are not joining courses to learn the theory part now. Okay, you can literally learn all the theory on Gemini. Go to Claude, go to ChatGPT, say that I want to learn Agentic AI. Literally, they will teach you step by step. There is a learning mode already. Let me tell you once again, there is already a learning mode in Gemini. There is learning mode in ChatGPT. Just mention your topic and it will start the learning mode, which is actually a kind of a tool and an agent. Yes, that learning mode is actually an agent which they have built, and it will teach you all the theory. But does that give you the confidence to face the job interviews? That is the right question to ask. Okay, so unless you have implemented a few projects, you have mentioned that in your resume, you yourself will not have that confidence. Okay, and that is
I'm going to add two more points on that. So nowadays, not only that, but also build yourself an authority before going, and that's what I'm going to cover in the second part. How do you set yourself apart from from others who have even done it? So a lot of guys nowadays even doing it, implementing it, but then how do you show even before a resume goes or recruiters and employers start reaching out to you? This is a new game that you'll be playing going forward now, where before your interview come to the recruit or interviewer, they already know that, okay, looks like, for example, Rizwan has done these things, or so-and-so person has already done these things by looking at a profile. That's what I'm going to cover in the second part, how setting apart. Now, Ayodapa is saying a question, what platform are going to use to build or our Agentic AI project, a journey? We're going to show it to you. You will go all the four major cloud providers, AWS, Azure, Google, Oracle. You pick what is right for you. We're going to give you all four of them. You can even deploy. We're going to do some practice on the cloud. You pick. We're going to do a lot of those things. We're going to go in Google Colab or your own machines. And then we're going to teach you how to deploy, run end to end. So we'll give all these things. Not only that, cloud, but we also do, for example, AWS has a Bedrock service for agentic management. Google has Google Vertex agents. Microsoft Azure has Azure AI Foundry. Oracle has Oracle OCI Generative AI Agentic Core as well part. So all these things you pick, you decide what you're going to do as well on. Are these discounts on these apps? There's no discount. You don't need. These are all free. Like when I say free, 99% it's on inference model. A lot of these things will be almost couple of micro cents because you are pay-per-use basis. Not you don't need to pay them any of those. They are pay-per-uses, and then for that to spend good money, you need to do tons and tons of implementation or tons and tons of data crunching. That you, and when you're learning, you don't need to do any of those. But anyway, let's continue from here, Prashant.
Yeah, so this is a very powerful slide that summarizes the most important components that are used to not only create. So the frameworks that you see, these are the frameworks which you will be using to build these agents. A LangChain is simple tool use agents, but if you want to create more exotic agents, more complex pattern following agents which are more real life, which are more enterprise grade, then you have to go with LangGraph agents, which is again coming from the LangChain ecosystem, or Crew AI, that's another open source library. The fourth one I would mention from my own is AutoGen, that is another product from Microsoft, and PhiData, the fifth one. Okay, these are the five most important frameworks for creating agents. But these agents are all powered by models. So where are these models coming from? ChatGPT, Claude models, Gemini models, or you can use open source models from Hugging Face. Okay, you can download them to your local machine, and then you can power your agents with these agents, with these models on your local machine, running on your local machine. Local machine just needs to have a GPU. If you don't have a GPU, then you are back to one of these three, or there is a fourth platform I would call is a Grok platform, GROQ. Okay, so go to Grok platform where you have more than 25 different open source model already deployed for you. With a single API key, you can access all of these models. There are language models, vision models, text to speech models, speech to text models, and many, many more. The third quadrant is all about where would you deploy these agents. So you have created these agents using one of these frameworks. These agents are powered by these models, but then at the end, these agents have to be deployed so that everyone across the organization can use it. Otherwise, these agents are still sitting duck in your laptop, right? So you need to deploy it so that your customers are able to access, your clients are able to access, or your colleagues are able to access it. So that has to be done on some cloud. So could be one of these 4 or 5 major cloud providers. Atul has just mentioned about that. And then there is also an option of Hugging Face spaces. So if you're using Hugging Face models, you can use the Hugging Face spaces where you can deploy your agents, or Streamlit Cloud is there. Now these are all third-party clouds, okay, which also can be used. But again, as I mentioned clearly, that Streamlit or Hugging Faces are not for high volume deployments. So if you think that the enterprise agent will be used by tens of thousands of customers every single day, that's you are looking for a high volume usage. If it is a high volume usage, then you have to go with a dedicated cloud provider like AWS, OCI, Azure, or Google Vertex. So go with one of these dedicated cloud providers, deploy it there, and that's where you can do auto scaling. Okay. Finally, how do you know what all is happening within your agent? Okay, your agent is a very complex system which may appear as a black box for non-developers. Okay, what are the API calls being made? What are the prompts which are going? How does the prompt look like? What are the outputs coming out? Okay, so you want to see a 30,000 feet idea of what all is happening. That's what we call as observability. But also you want to trace each and every API call. If you think that some of the users have, red flagged some of the responses, there is an option. If you go to ChatGPT, Gemini, or Claude, in every single response, there is a like, up and down button, every single response. So if you did not like a particular response, okay, you can also down flag that. And the moment it is down flagged, it's immediately traced. What was the model response? Why did it fail? Did it not able to get the right context? Was it not able to retrieve the right context? Whatever be the reason, I'll be able to trace each and every API call. And that's what we call as traceability. So observability, 30,000 feet view of what all is happening. And traceability, I will be able to trace back each and every API call which my agent is making on behalf of me. Okay. Now, for doing these observability and traceability, the two most common frameworks are Langsmith and Langfuse. Langfuse is an open source version, and Langsmith is cloud managed version. Okay.
Okay, so guys, again, I know guys are saying a lot of terminology, a lot of concepts. Yes, we are going to cover that. We're going to cover all these things. We're going to cover from a beginner to advanced. I'm just giving a 30,000 foot view right now, and that's why I initially wanted to go a little bit over. Can you go back to the previous slide on previous slide, Prashant? Okay, so you as an architect will come and design. We have not covered here right now, but let's suppose you have designed and architect of design. We're going to cover and how to design all these things and models and agents and so on. But developer will come and develop using LangChain, LangGraph, Crew AI, AutoGen, .NET, whatever you can pick up. Then we go to use these models, which is C. Now we go to deploy, and this is where if you are doing a test UAT type, I can do it in a Streamlit or Hugging Face. But then on true actual deployment, this is where my deployers, ops guys, those who are saying DevOps guys, operations administrator, they were going to go deploy those. And then my operations guy, administrator guys will go and manage. So I'm just talking about what I'm going to do as a middleware administrator. You're going to do ops and observability. You're going to do deployment part. What I'm going to do as a developer, you're going to do develop. What I'm going to do as a tester, you're going to test these things. What I'm going to do as an architect, I'm going to do this. What I'm going to do as a project manager, program manager, I'm going to manage this whole entire end-to-end project as well. So these are kind of things that we are going to do as well. So we're going to cover, Vikram, we're going to cover single roadmap. Exactly, that's where we're going to come into on these single roadmap and so on. There's other questions that they were coming about. I'll pick one or two. We are going to use is Google Colab. You can use Google Colab as well. We are also going to come in a minute MCP and A2A as well. We are going to cover all these things. So anything and everything you can think of is covered, guys. We are much ahead of what you can even imagine and think. Over to you, Prashant. This is a 40,000 foot view. We're going to go deeper into each of these as well. Over to you.
Yeah. So very soon, Atul will also be presenting a 40-hour, complete roadmap, which one of you are asking, many of you, in fact. Okay. So I'll talk about each and every component in that 40-hour roadmap to mastery agentic AI. But this is again a 30,000 feet of that entire roadmap. I have divided that into these 5 phases. In the first phase, we'll talk about what these LLMs are, large language models. What do they do? What is the purpose that they solve in an agent? Okay, what is prompt? We'll talk about prompt engineering techniques, advanced prompt engineering techniques, different patterns are there. We'll also talk about retrieval augmented generation, which is one of the major drivers for agentic AI these days across all enterprise. Okay, and then the most fundamental framework which binds all of these, orchestration of agentic AI, and that is LangChain. So we'll do all the hands-on using LangChain. That is the phase 1, which will go typically in the first 20% of the entire roadmap. Then we are going to actually build agents using LangGraph. Okay. We'll also, see first what are the different design patterns, what design pattern is more appropriate for what kind of use cases, what are the different components in terms of memory, long-term memory, short-term memory, what are the different types of tools available. So phase 2 is all about architecture's toolkit. We'll have a high-level idea, basically, that these are the things which we can do using agents. These are the different frameworks, these are the different design patterns, and these are the different use cases, and these are the mappings of these based on the use case. Phase 3 is all about execution of all your thought process, whatever you're planning in the phase 2 was. And then you start actually building these agents using Crew. Primarily, we'll be doing it in LangGraph. Almost 60 to 70% of the course that will be showcasing right now. So LangGraph is, so I strongly recommend everyone. See, there are many frameworks. Okay, if you go to the job description of any agentic role, okay, you'll find 4 or 5 most common frameworks: LangGraph, Crew AI, AutoGen, maybe PhiData, and maybe 1 or 2 more. Okay, even there are people are asking for OpenAI agent builder toolkit, or Bedrock also has a agent builder. Okay, now those are very less commonly used. Okay, but the top 3 are LangGraph, Crew AI, AutoGen, exactly in the same decreasing order. But one of the story is, instead of knowing so many frameworks and just doing small dummy projects for each, Focus on one, have a mastery to an extent that you can literally create any level of enterprise grade application using that particular framework. Okay. Until and unless you say that, boss, this kind of agentic application is not possible with this framework, then only you have a motivation to move to a second framework. That's the level of confidence you need to have. Okay. And a reason to move to a second framework or a third framework. Okay. So that's why majority of the course will be focusing on LangGraph so that you have a deep mastery on one framework, all of its component, do's and don'ts, everything. And then as a second framework, we'll talk about crew of agents. We'll be creating multiple small agents, which will be talking to each other, coordinating with each other. That's what we call it as a crew of agents. And that's how the name came up as Crew AI. So phase 3 is all about building agents. We'll be doing all those 34 projects which Atul will be displaying in the coming slides. So we'll be building all those agents in the phase 3. Phase 4 is all about, again, once we have created the agent, the next logical step is to deploy them. Okay, we'll be deploying it in our local machine. Plus, we'll be using AWS Cloud and other cloud providers in each of these sessions. And then we'll also use LangSmith for implementing the traceability and observability. We'll see each and every API call in action in real time, the latency, how many tokens were used. Okay, what was the cost per API call for each of these agents, tool execution and everything. So that is the level of traceability and observability we will have in the phase 4. That's like an enterprise grade skill that you have now. Okay, you are not just building agents, but you know exactly what is going inside. That's the razor sharp focus here. Phase 5. So now you will build 3-4 such projects and create a portfolio. You should be able to put all these projects in a proper way, depending on the kind of job role that you will be aiming for. The team will help you to write down small scripts for each of these projects, how to put them, how to project them. And I would also strongly recommend that you guys also share some of your projects, whatever you have done, enhancements on top of it on LinkedIn and so on. Okay, don't just show the same project that all the 50 guys would be doing in a batch. Okay, what additional enhancement you did, that's your core learning, that's your core experimentation. That's exactly something what the companies are looking for. That's your stretch goal. Okay, so challenge yourself, take it to the next level, and then share the learnings from that, not just simply saying I did this. No one is interested to know that. Okay, what is the main learning, what didn't work, what worked? That is what everyone wants to hear, the story. So how to do that? The team will help you on that.
Okay, before you go, there are a couple of things. We are going to go A2 and MCB, but there are tons and tons of questions are coming. So guys, don't worry. Once I finish this today, you'll have all questions are answered. So Jafan is saying, how are we going to do these? Do you NVIDIA hardware? So first of all, I can tell you, you don't need an NVIDIA hardware. NVIDIA hardware is for someone if you're tuning a model. A majority of time on Agentic AI, not tuning the model, which you're going to cover a phase 2, which is a pro level, expert level, but you don't need NVIDIA hardware or anything. All the cloud providers have big compute and big chips sets that you do. If you do very, very hard task, that's what your LLM is already doing for you. You don't need to do. So that's where third-party inference is. We are also going to cover Google. So someone is asking, are we going Google? Yes, we're going to cover Google Vertex AI. We're going to cover Microsoft Azure, implementation of Microsoft Azure AI Foundry. We're going to cover AWS Bedrock, Oracle, all of them as well. There was some question about what is the duration. Now, again, we have a strategic timeline, but again, my objective is not to count. I always say people come, oh, how long it will be, your duration or something. I say this is all BS. I never count number of hours. My objective is you come here for a result. Have you got that result? Of course, in the shortest possible time without cutting any corners so that you enjoy and we don't leave you. You don't leave us. We don't leave you till you get a result. Result is I'm becoming an expert in AI agent. That's a period. Now, it could be design, it could be development, it could be deployment, it could be administration, it could be operations, management. You do what is right for you. We are going to be whole objective because if you don't get a result, it's all waste of as well. Now some guys are asking about what language, programming, all those things we're going to cover. So stay tuned. That's all coming. Over to you, Prashant. Let's do final bit, which is future. Guys, this is where pay attention, those who are new. MCP and A2A is agent to agent. and how agent talk to external sources or third party or internally, externally. That's what we're going to cover or see as well. And you're going to see actual implementation where, for example, I'm running some agent on AWS, for example. I need to talk to I need to talk to Lambda, for example, or I need to do some external tool. There are multiple ways of doing that within. You can do I'm not going to go deeper now here. I'm going to be digressing again. Prashant, over to you. Keep it short, quick, so that we can cover.
So I'll just give one line description basically. So MCP is basically a protocol, just like a standard. Okay, how your web browser communicates with a web server, that is your HTTP or HTTPS protocol. That's a communication between your web browser client and a server which is serving the web page. So similarly, you have got your agent, which is now having access to multiple tools. Okay, now these tools could be, as we have seen, this could be web search tool, database query tool, some API calls, and so on. So how do we connect to multiple tools which are being served by multiple third-party companies? So it's possible that one tool is coming from company A, another tool is coming from company B, another tool is coming from company C, and so on. And in my project, I am making use of 10 such tools. So the solution what MCP is providing is a standardized protocol. So with minimal changes in code, with minimal lines of code, I will be able to connect to all these tools being served by literally. So there are MCP servers. So these companies will act as MCP servers. They will serve those tools. I will just make use of those tools. I don't have to create the tool. I don't have to write down complex code to make those tools work in my project. Okay, that is what the MCP enables. Since it is a protocol, so all these companies which are offering all these tools, they will write down their codes in such a way that any developer like you and me will be able to use their tools in just 1 or 2 lines of code. And that is what the protocol mandates. Okay. Second thing is how one agent talks to another agent. Let's say you want to do end-to-end flight booking. Okay. So your, let's say, flight search agent is talking to different agents from each of the airlines. So Air India has got its own agent. Okay. Maybe, or Lufthansa has its own agent. Okay. Now the agent that I have created directly talks to these airline agents. Okay. About the availability, about the pricing, about the times in which a particular flight from a source and a destination is available, and so on. So agent to agent communication directly is now being standardized. That is the future protocol. Okay, A2A protocol, which was given by Google. MCP was given by Claude. Okay, so yeah, this is in a quick summary of this slide. Okay, so your agent that you have created wants to use many tools. That communication of these tools being served by multiple companies, that is standardized by MCP, Model Context Protocol. And your agent now directly wants to talk to other agents from other vendors, other companies, other clients. So agent to agent communication is happening via the agent to agent A2A protocol, what we call in short.
Prashant, you're going to love these questions because there are so many technical questions are coming. So maybe what we're going to do is, guys, any technical questions we're going to collect these questions, keep them coming. We're going to go through them and create a whole list and answer them in a short period, because amount of questions I'm getting right now here. But any career related or some things which will be helpful for others, because technical can go to any extreme, because that's the whole point about having this program. We're going to cover that as well. Now, one question was about, do I need to be a coder or developer? With someone doesn't have any technical code skill, will I be able to achieve goal in Agentic AI? Absolutely, which I said, there are different roles. Now, depending on if an architect, I don't need to do the coding, but I need to know what framework I'm using, how I'm invoking those as well. So I'm becoming that part. So I'm an architect. I'm a business analyst. I need to understand the other part, but I may not be developing the code. I'm a developer. Of course, you need to know the coding programming, but I'm a tester at QA. I don't need to worry about what developer I've given. I need to know, let me correct myself. You should, if you are a tester, but with a development knowledge or coding knowledge, you'll be telling, hey, have you done code safe? But you can these days ask now AI tools itself that code is safe and a lot of other things as well. I'm going to, as administrator, I'm going to book a administrator role as well. So there are different roles depending on, and that's what I'm going to go and implement as well. Over to you. Let's continue. We are running late, but I think we are on time as well. I'm super excited with the engagement and questions are coming. Over to you. Yeah. So this is, guys, this is a in-depth, and I want 1 or 2 line of each of these. So let me cover here on that point. So you begin with, first of all, week 1 is all about understanding the concept that you're talking about. What is AI, machine learning, generative AI, LLMs, prompt engineering. A lot of guys are talking about these concepts, terminology. That's where you understand what are implemented, where are we going to use all these things? What is Claude, for example, Hugging Face models, etc. Once you understand, you need to understand the second part, which is about LangChain, which is one of the frameworks, one of the most common framework that you use to develop AI agents that are available. So how they work, what is LangChain means, and so on, and concepts about that. Week 3 is, and again, Prashant, add something which I'm missing something on these points. I'm looking at from my point of view. Let's suppose I'm telling this, I'm not going too deep to confuse, because we're going to, inside the program, we're going to go deeper into, because I know you're too techy. I can do as well, but I also know how to shield going too deep into those points. Okay. Week 3 is all about, when we say week 3 is about prompt engineering, because anything that you do about prompt engineering play a very, very big role on. And so there are a lot of basic prompts that you do, but zero shot, long, few shot, chain of thoughts, tree of thoughts, advanced things that we are talking about. You understand these, because later my AI agents, autonomous systems that I'm talking about will do a reasoning based on these prompt engineering techniques they're going to use or leverage, or behind the things that they're going to do. Then there's something called RAG, which is we have not even touched base today, which is I'm going to cover, if time permits, retrieval augmented generation, where I'm going to use my custom knowledge base. I'm going to build my RAG systems using LangChain model that you see. Now, week 5 is all about you to understand Agentic AI essentials, what we actually Agentic AI means. Today we have touched base. We're going to go very, very deep. Now, week 6 is all about where a lot of guys say, hey, no code, low code, and this is where those just to suffice. A lot of guys are talking about Make, N8, and Zapier, or other tools. You do is to understand building low code, no code. I'm a business analyst, or I'm a business user. I don't want to use these things I want to use using drag and drop. That's what we're going to cover. Week 7, this is where we're going to go on architecture. We're going to actually design this. Once you understand these all basic concepts, this is where my architectural things. And even if you're not a architect, I would highly recommend you to come and understand why someone is asking about why I'm picking this particular agent, what kind of a pattern I'm going to pick as well, why this thing, why this logic, whatever, all these, why I'm going to pick this model, why I'm going to pick this way of designing AI agent, and all those things, what are the different patterns that are available in the market, on any new patterns that are going to emerge in 2026 are emerging as well. We all about design and architecture. Week 8, this is where week 8 is actually I'm going to build them using LangChain, LangGraph, also other multi-agent, more than one agent talking to each other, or using. Week 9 is all about Agentic RAG, which is RAG with AI agents, or Agentic AI with RAG, retrieval augmented generation. And week 10 is all about, this is where my multi-agent, which is I'm talking about LangGraph, and Crew AI under drag and drop builder. You can say, look, there is a more advanced code version available as well, or you can go for low code, no code as well. Week 11, this is where you go to whatever you have developed or developer have developed, you deploy them on, and then do management, administration, observability, and so on. And then week 12, which is we've enhanced in 2026 for 2026, is about deploying on all the 4 cloud provider, whether it's AWS, Azure, Google, Oracle. This is here. But then 2 things are, one thing which I purposefully kept it out is A2 and MCP, which I think I'm either missed on here, or I didn't want to give too much overwhelming as well. So this is where we go on Agentic AI roadmap part as well. So this is where I'm going to go. Prashant, is it anything that you want to do? There are a lot of questions are coming. Are we doing? Of course, we are going to do VectorDB. Brilliant. Some guys are asking about anything that you can think of. I purposefully kept these things outside right now, but anything you can think of, I never stay static. I always keep what's coming in the future, what is already there. So RAG, VectorDB, and we're going to look at a couple of VectorDBs, embeddings, how do you store them, how do you keep them out as well. All those things we're going to cover, and we're going to cover, in fact, we are going to already done MCP, implementation of MCP we're going to cover, and you'll see that on projects basis as well. So Prashant, if you get done, a lot of questions are coming. Let me pick that questions from here. Is it okay if I take control from here?
Yes, please.
Make me presenter. Can someone, my team, make me presenter? Or let me share my screen. I think I have to share my screen on duplicate display shells, duplicate slide. So can you all see a screen this is talking about? Now, so this, as I said, this is now main point is about you're not going to learn just theory part. You're going to learn the actual implementation part. Is very, very important, because for me, we're going to cover theory part, concept part, but what's more important is actual implementation, and project-based learning is very, very important. Project implementation that you see here. Now, what I wanted to do is, and saying this is yet to come, which is saying this is I've not even touched. I've just covered brief, maybe say, I would say 40% of what I was supposed to cover today. Because of time, I'm going to make sure that I've promised something. I'm going to cover this whole 3-step framework. Why you're not getting result if you're not. Why, how to go from not confident to becoming super confident. How to go from no interview call or very little interview calls to multiple interview calls. And then eventually how to get a no job offer to job offer. Prashant, there are tons of questions we can answer those technically side and reply to all, so that people can see as well. We're going to look also LinkedIn profile optimization part. But how do you post on LinkedIn whatever you're learning, not as, hey, I'm learning this, but as an authority, so that recruiters start getting interview calls. These are some of the examples I've spoken about. Jesse, I've implemented as soon as I posted about my project, which I've done, I received a message from a recruiter for an opportunity on AI engineer role. This is, hey, I did my homework and updated my LinkedIn profile. And as soon as I did that, I started getting job prospect. So rather than you chasing the employer, you chasing the recruiters start reaching out to you as well. So this is what we're going to cover that in a minute. Yeah, and I'm also going to cover 5 resume mistakes that is costing you the job as well. How to do the mock interviews so that you clear all those things that we are talking about. So before we move forward, as I've gone through for very, very fast, and some guys, there's too much information overload, and you might be feeling overwhelmed, like information is coming from a host pipe as well. Prashant has done a brilliant job to stay as slow as possible. If you've attended any of mine, I go very, very fast, very, very fast. But because I have a lot, it's not like Prashant doesn't have, but then he teaches in a teaching style, which I'm going to cover inside the program. But this Agentic AI Mastery, as I said, it sounds like 40 hours, but I go way, way beyond that. My objective is not to count number of hours. My objective is not to count about, oh, I've done these sessions or no. My objective is that someone coming, are they getting results? And result is, am I able to successfully design, build, and deploy and manage that AI agent? That's the whole about. And how I'm going to do it, of course, there'll be theory concepts, but I learn by actually implementing. So that is where I'm going to project-based learning, the 5-6 projects which you mentioned, but hold on, I can do more projects as well. So for me, I love and enjoy if you have your own project, bring those projects, because the more projects we do, the more quicker result you'll get. The more quicker result you'll get, the more guys you're going to tell about my program. And the more guys you're going to talk about program, more beneficial for me as well. So the whole concept is about we do good, so good that you say, wow. And then we're going to implement these on real world deployments. And we're going to do actual capstone project, real world projects, so that you write in a resume saying that I've done as an implementation, as a proof of concept. And I'm also going to tell you how to write on not only on your resume, but also on LinkedIn on how to write the content. Also, we are going to do some projects on and show it on online how to do it as well. Now, before I move forward and say, is it okay? I'm going to present. No, I'll not take more than 5-10 minutes. Is that if I present the offer to you, if it's okay, and if no one is interested, then I'll not cover. But if someone is like, if anyone is interested about program, because I see tons of guys are asking about, is it okay if I present? I'll not take more than 5-10 minutes about as well. Okay, who's teaching the program? Of course, me and collectively both of us will be teaching, but also a lot of other things are coming, Jasmine. So we have trainers. Okay, yeah, I think. Yes, exactly. So we have professional experts who are going to bring and come. I'm going to talk about as well on those things. Is it okay? Just put in the chat window. Is it okay if I present 5 minutes, no more than 5 minutes or 10 minutes max about this program? Though I've given all the hint already. Rizwan is saying 1%, 2%. Ajay, I don't know what your question is. Ajay, if you can post your question again, I'm going to take the question at a logical point. Yes. there are still more than 180 plus guys. Yes. I need a little bit more to cover, but I think I'm going to honor. I'm going to cover very, very quickly on about this offer, which I'm going to talk about how we're going to do. So as I said, we limit and purposefully we used to do open up, and we used to tons and tons of guys used to join. The more I also invite and approve everyone for over the next 1 year, you can come back again and again as we are constantly upgrading. Agentic AI agent, almost a week, new things are coming. So I'm constantly improving that, and we limit on per batch 25 guys because I also have to invite all the previous batch students as well. So a limit. I opened up just a couple of days back. All 13 seats were already filled. We only have 12 seats for this project. This is what Mastering Agentic AI program. I'll be talking about everything which I've mentioned here. About there are 16 plus modules. There are 50 plus lessons. These are live interactive you'll be seeing. There are 34 hands-on labs, and we're going to improve on point. There are 5 projects and a big capstone project, so that you can write in your program or in your things, in your resume as an expert as well. I've already mentioned all these things, but there are some additional things which are missing. Obviously, A2 and MCP, which are there, which I'm going to talk about. I'm not going to go because of time. This is actual implementation of doing all these things. So once we have done a basic concepts explained, you go to actually learn by implementing, right from designing to actually building AI agent to deploying and multi-agent deployments or multi-agent creation or developing, as well as deploying them on all the cloud providers as well. These are the 5 projects right now we have, but I'm more than happy. The more projects you come and bring, the more it will be added into. So we always have done a lot of other projects people bought. So if you have more projects, bring those projects as well. So we're going to look at project from a HR department, financial department, legal, healthcare, and e-commerce. Majority of our clients who get paid much bigger money is all about from a banking or fintech or finance, as well as healthcare. These are 2 big domains that you see. Now, this is just one example. We go very detailed. Everything will be given to you, so you can play and do very advanced projects that you see, including RAG, Agentic AI, VectorDB. Some people are asking about. Now, what makes us best? And everyone will say, "Oh, I'm great," and I'm not going to be different, to be frank. But rather than me telling you, I'm going to share some of the things you've already seen at the start of results. But this is again, guys, Shiva. Support at the fingertip. This is what I appreciate about K21 Academy. Support is the fingertip, and we have 2 support model: WhatsApp and email. We also staff is always available. When I say always, is don't expect me to be 24/7, but we have a team which almost runs like a 24/7 because we have WhatsApp group. Either me or someone in my team. We have a big team of around 80 full-time employees, and we have 200 plus freelancers or independent contractors who are actually teaching and training these things. But also, I bring them as an expert on how things are being run in the projects as well. Now, they always keep posting events, classes, so we didn't miss out. The trainers are exceptionally good. As I said, I've particularly holded Prashant today to cover this because he can go on and on. He's pretty brilliant teacher. But then I wanted to give a glimpse of what you could expect. And I have a lot of guys. I wanted to cover a high level 30,000 foot view today. But trainers are exceptionally well and have command our subject, always supportive. Now, access to, we have a portal. On that portal, we also give you some bonus classes, which you're going to see here as well. Now, I'm going to give quick 30,000 foot view. There'll be weekly live interactive sessions. Then on top of that, all the previous batch recordings will be available. And also the live session recording we do, that will be available to you as well. So you can watch if you miss or you want to recap. Will also be unlimited retake. Now, technology changes very fast. Also, I learn first time, maybe 80%, 90%. Second time I cover new technologies, new things come. So that's why we invite everyone on the next batch again over the next 1 year. We also, recording will be available in the portal. You also have a ticketing system as well as WhatsApp. Something I can answer on quickly, I'll do through WhatsApp. Something I can do via the ticketing system, we do our ticketing system. There'll be constantly improvement in the program. We never stay static. You see constantly change. Some of you guys already inside the program over here, changes and improvements. Also, there'll be hands-on lab and project you've already seen, but we'll be constantly evolving from there. As I said, I'm telling you, this is tried and tested by not 1, 2, 3, thousands and thousands of guys who are available inside the program as well. Now, free commonly asked questions session every Saturday and Sunday, morning US, afternoon or evening UK, and India, it's around in the evening, late evening India time as well. Now, Can I continue after learning the course? Absolutely. The whole point is about you keep learning, you never stay static as things change. Now, do I need to be learning coding? Yes, we are going to give you, and that's coming. If you're a developer, definitely you should do, we're going to cover in Python. If you're non-developer, there are a lot of other things that are available for non-developers, business analysts, and so on. Now, recording will be available. I'm also going to cover the guarantee, which will be, I'm so confident you will see that in a minute as well. Now, how much does it cost? And I think a lot of you guys might be asking on, if you go to the market, if a good quality, nothing less than $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 that you will see. But they don't give you unlimited retake. They don't give you the project. They don't give you support. They don't the unlimited access that you see, and some of the bonuses that you will see, I'll explain you in a minute. So no one can beat us on the price with the value that we are providing. I'm 100% confident on that point. And these are some of the clients they have to say. Salim, best experienced teachers. They are the best thus far. Well, even for beginners. Oksana provided the best, great program. Support is always every step. Definitely you get a job if you do the work. Joshua, job focused, experienced instructors, very good support system. Honey, I was skeptical about paying for the course, but someone like me who decided to change his 40s, definitely useful. So this is how, not as I said, I have hundreds and hundreds of these screenshots. So what we do have is the URL is, we have one single payment, which is, I think, on that you see on page, I think, yeah. So we have two payment plans. One is you pay one single payment of $1,997 or $2,000 straight away, $2,000, just shy of $2,000, $1,997. Or you have second installment option. You have three payments, which is one payment now $797, and then two additional payments over the 3 months. So you can either pick option one, which is $2,000, which is this one single payment that you see on the left-hand side. You have two options to pay. One is you can pay using PayPal or credit card. And this is one, and that's all. You're covered, and everything that I've mentioned so far is covered here. Second is, as I said, is about three payments about $797 now, and another two payments on. Now, people might say, oh, which one should I choose? If you can afford, go with single option because you're getting value for money. If you, for some reason, money is tight or something, you need to spread over 3 months, this is the URL that you see. The URL is below on the screen for this that you see on your screen. Now, I'm going to take one or two questions before we move forward on this point. Any questions for my team? So Kala is saying, what is the Indian rupees cost converted into rupees? We have tons and tons of guys are from India. They pay the same price. For me, the value that we bring is more than at least 5 times of what we are investing in the program. At least 5 times minimum that you might be seeing. It's okay. Offer. There's no. This is what you're paying. It's a $2,000 or $797 in. URL is not visible. 1 second. Sorry, my mistake, guys. Why is my URL not hidden? If someone from my team can see, but they can't see, you can't see the URL, or it's hidden, is it? If you're talking about LinkedIn optimization, I'm coming to that point. Ustav, can you just see if you can't see the URL? Someone from our team, what happened? Ustav or
no,
guys?
sir, window bar is showing.
Oh, window bar is coming, is it? So sorry.
Yes.
Ouch, that's a pain. So this is a URL, K21Academy.com/Agentic. This is the URL. Let me not do window. I should have done. So K21Academy.com. Let me go in straight like this in that case. So the URL is K21Academy.com/Agentic. And we have, as I said, when you go to this page, you're going to go page on like this, where you have two options. One option is $1,997 or second option is $997. Okay. Now, let me take one or two questions. Yeah, okay. Samuel, I hope this is now given. K21Academy.com/Agentic. NT, every year we increase the price. So those, again, this price may not stay like this. It will increase again. So those people are saying there was an offer, was in 2025. That's gone now. That's why you should have done a little bit earlier as well. And we keep increasing the price as the value increases. Let me, any other question I'm going to pick up? What is about LinkedIn? I'm going to cover that LinkedIn and other things as well for that. Okay. Any other one or two questions, guys? Okay, let me continue from here. Okay, so what's going to happen is on here. Michael, I'm going to cover that as well. What if I don't get a job after this, all this? Brilliant. I'm going to cover that. So stay tuned. So for those who are looking for a job change, I'm going to cover and give you a little bit more. So that's what I'm going to cover. Well done. Very good question. Now, first of all, this is Agentic AI. We are covering all the actual knowledge implementation project, actual implementation part. Now, once you register, within probably a minute or so, you'll get an email like this, which will have details of the program. Everything is available immediately. We are going to go live interactive sessions weekend, every Saturdays and Sundays that you're going to see over the time I mentioned. You're also going to access a WhatsApp group so that you can attend that WhatsApp group. All the notification about WhatsApp will be there. My team within next 24 hours, or once you register, you'll get an onboarding call that you'll give you step-by-step instructions, what you need to do. Onboarding, you can fill up the form, and there'll be human being behind who will be walking you through on everything, so you don't need to worry about. Within next 72 hours, you'll get a call from my team, will walk you through. So we have a very hand-holding thing that you will see. You'll also get all the support. You'll also get WhatsApp groups, so you don't need to worry about. This is the portal look like, where you will have everything laid down. And then we also have the weekly session, which is available inside the calendar. I'm not showing it right now here, but you will have access to those weekly sessions. Everything is given in this portal, so you don't need to worry about. Okay, I hope that makes sense. Any questions, keep asking those questions. Now, one question I get is, now a lot of guys come or used to come inside the program and say, hey, I don't know the Python, or what should I do with, if you're becoming a developer. Now, even if you're not a developer, even if you're an administrator or a DevOps guy or MLOps guy want to learn, or an architect, knowledge of Python will be very, very helpful. So if you don't know the Python, you don't need to worry about. I'm doing this as a Python as a bonus for limited time. So you're going to get not only this Agentic AI that I mentioned, you're also going to get an entire learning path for Python. So you'll learn Python for beginners to all the way advanced Python. And also we are going to, again, cover this Python every weekday. Thursdays and Friday, we run these Python sessions. You can come, recording will be available for you as well. So Python for AI, machine learning, generative AI, agentic AI, and data engineers. We cover all this inside that. You're also going to get a certification. We are going to prepare you now. Recently added for 2026 is Python entry-level certification. And in future, we might add more certifications. Also, there'll be interview question related to Python. So if you're a developer, this is enough for a rate. Even if you're not a developer, I would highly recommend you to have some basic idea about Python as well. So just to wrap it up, everything that I've mentioned about Agentic AI Mastery, a program which is one single payment of just shy of $2,000, which is $1,997, or monthly payment of $797. These are all modules that you see. These are hands-on lab. These are 5 real-time project. 2 things which are added bonuses here, see MCP and A2A protocol. Anything that new comes in 2026, you are all going to get it as well. So I'll take 1 or 2 questions, or any questions you might have on this point. Subhajit saying, I'll register for 1 student. Brilliant. Subhajit, welcome to this. Is it Agentic AI for knowledge for Python, or for leaders? Inti, this is for anyone who wants to learn AI, machine learning, generative AI. It will be for all of them. Okay. URL is K21Academy.com/Agentic AI. I think Agentic or Agentic AI. Yeah. Brilliant. Now, everything that I've mentioned, as I said, is someone was asking, what if I don't get a result? Absolutely right. Everything, I'm so confident that everything is covered by 100% money back guarantee, which means your 60 days, if you don't see the value, as long as this is a conditional guarantee, it's not I'll try out. If it doesn't work, don't come into the program. I'm very, very upfront. Don't come into the program if you're still not sure. Or if you try out, don't try out. Because if you try out, if you're coming for tryout, you will never get a result. You're all in or out, completely in or completely out. Yes, that's right, Shubhajit. Python is included in Agentic AI. That's absolutely right, Python. Okay. Paul, all my experts, trainers, you've already seen. I take full responsibility of the trainers. Every session, we rate between 0 to 5. And if you don't get a 5, we say, if it's not on like basically logistics, 99.999% all 5-star. If we don't keep 5-star rating for a trainer, we don't. You've already seen Prashant. We're going to go very, very deep. So it's on my face, my guarantee. I believe in result. Okay. So got the recording of this ongoing session? Absolutely, Rizwan. So any past sessions where happened, recording will be available, audio available. Does the class include computer vision and audio in hands-on labs? Jelino, you can do in chat GPT. What you're looking for is, I'm not sure, but we can check that as well. Okay. Sanjeev, how many weekends are long live courses? Again, we'll cover that. All these things I said, this is probably around 12 weeks or so. But if we need more, we add more. My objective is not about counting days or numbers. I always believe in result, because that's why you have a 100% money back. You need to take action, because don't come into the program just to try out. Again, I said, so you have to submit the assignments, you have to do the work, you have to attend either live or recordings and do the work. If you do the work and if you think it is not worth, I don't want to retain or keep your money if you do the work. Again, yep. So I think I have mentioned this. And again, another question people might come and say, hey, I can do it from Udemy or YouTube. And if you can do, by all means, go and do it. Objective is for you, whether do it with me or someone. Point is about doing it. Another girl who was in the program and said, there are a lot of other portals who are self-study model, and they might work for a handful, but didn't work for me, because I need someone to handhold me, or whom I can go questions and ask questions. So I have tons of courses in Udemy, but not even started it. So that's basically whole about K21Academy.com for such Agentic AI. I hope I've mentioned enough on this. I'm going to talk about how I lost 70,000 in 2005, my own real mistake, which I did. And I'm going to also share about the mistake which I've done. I'm going a little bit overboard, too much over, but because I promised, I'm going to stay here as long as my audience is, even if one person is there, I'm going to answer. So anyone need any help, my team will be answering the questions. And those who have registered, brilliant, welcome to the program. This is the program URL. Let me go back onto this is the program to do. I'll take 1 or 2 questions on the program as well. So brilliant. Rian, welcome to the program. And there's another person, Matt, welcome to the program. There's another one, hold on 1 second. Grishma, welcome to the program, guys. Do we get a certificate? Absolutely, you'll get a certificate. Absolutely, we're going to do the certificate. How I'm going to go practice? Does this cloud include? No, I think will practice instance will be provided. Kalai, we are going to do all on the cloud. We're going to give step-by-step instructions. All those things I'm going to cover in a minute, because there are tons of questions are coming. My team, if you can pick up those questions, let me go through. And as I said, I'm going to pick up these questions in a minute. I've already mentioned the money back guarantee, all those things. But let me take about this journey, which I wanted to cover about on from you here. Now, those who are talking about PyTorch, skitlearn, CI/CD basics, vectors, NT, stay tuned. I'm going to cover that part as well in a minute here now. Okay, so this is what I was talking about. 1, 2, 3. Tell me who are 1, 2, or 3. Write down, because that's what I'm going to cover now here. Put the chat window. Is it you're not confident? So you want to go from not confident to super confident? Or you are applying for interviews but not getting interview calls? Or your number 3, which is, hey, you're attending the interview calls but not able to clear them. Is it 1, 2, 3? Rizwan, I'm going to cover that in a minute. Not confident. Inti is not confident. And you can write more than 1 as well. I don't have necessary background. Inti, leave this on me. I'm going to share it in a minute. Anyone else? Guys, we have 100+ guys are here. Good. Rama, pay special attention to this side on here. On 2. Anyone else, which is 1, 2, 3? I'm going to stay here for a minute. If not, those who are not facing these problems, guys, you can leave the call. Or if you're really here, there are more than 150 right now. 2. Okay, the couple of guys, 1, 2, 2, 2, 3. Ingrid saying you can be okay. Okay, great. Thank you very much, Ingrid. You will learn more than you can even earn money. There is a value in K21Academy. Thank you, Ingrid. Appreciate it. Okay, 1, 1. A lot of guys are 1 as well. I'm going to cover. Brilliant. 1 and 2. Brilliant. Okay, great. 1, 2, 3, 3, 2. Okay. So first of all, what you to do is saying, like, first of all, those who are not confident or super confident, this is where the hands-on project and certification will come into picture. So whatever I mentioned is an entry for someone who's already working into AI or Agentic AI. They just want to focus on Agentic AI. Now, I mentioned there are different roles: executive leadership, project manager, program manager, architects, engineers, developers, and so on. So, and there are different job roles available. For leadership roles, there is a AI director, senior director, um, uh, technical program manager, project managers. There are also AI architects. There are also developers. There are testers, QA, business analysts. All these are, we're going to give you these on how to prepare for these jobs, what kind of things you need to learn, because each job role will have slightly different learning implementation or learning things. Not everything is right for everyone. Based on your background, if you're leadership, you're going to do slightly different learning or slightly different things. If you're a project manager, program manager, slightly different. If you're an architect, slightly different. If you're a developer, slightly different. If you're a tester, slightly different. If you are a business analyst, so it should be customized based on your background on this on point. Now, I'm not going to even cover jobs. There are so much high-paying jobs available, 200, 300, 500,000 as well. So if you see average, those are paying in Uber, 300 plus thousand, 265,000. This is average salaries which are talking about. But then there are companies or startups, a lot of companies are even paying much, much higher than that. Oh, so coming back to, depending on who you're playing, everyone should know and understand, in my view, full project life cycle. More important so for leaders, architects, or senior leadership roles, AI project management life cycle, as well as machine learning life cycle and agentic AI life cycle. The life cycles and bigger picture is very, very important, especially if you're in a senior leadership roles, architect roles, or more in a technical project manager, program manager roles. And or if you're working towards them, that direction. Anyone who has 8, 10 or more years experience, you should have all these life cycle end-to-end, how these things are done. AI, machine learning, agentic AI. If you're a project manager, you should also say how AI projects are implemented end-to-end, or for leaders. If you are, so for everyone should have at least this knowledge, which is about AI, machine learning, generative AI, agentic AI, supervised learning, unsupervised learning, not depending on what your role, maybe go very, very deep or go high level to understand these concepts. We have everything that you need to go deeper or keep it high level. So concepts like someone is asking about what is LLM, what is foundation model, what is vector database, what is embeddings, how do data is being used to build, how do you fine tune, all those things you'll be learning in that. So, so this is a generative AI. You begin with AI, agentic AI, generative AI for beginners. And then you go models which you're talking about: OpenAI, Hugging Face, Claude, Gemini, Grok, or Llama from Meta. So these are the models they're going to learn and understand these points. And then prompt engineering, which I already mentioned. Then RAG, retrieval augment generation, agentic AI, and then of course we covered A2A and MCP. So this is good enough from an agentic AI point of view, but then we go much bigger. So you understand these cloud for beginners. You go for agentic AI machine learning for beginners, but you also go and learn and implement cloud, because you're going to, most of these companies who are implementing, they're implementing on cloud. So AWS, Azure, Google, Oracle. Now, you don't need to do all of them. Maybe 1 or 2 is enough. But if you are someone already working on one, you pick other cloud providers as well. So you're going to cover all these things for you. And then from here, I think for developers, you go Python. Architects do Python. But then you go for, depending on, you pick AI for leaders, AI for project managers, or MLOps, those who are coming from operations background, DevOps, CI/CD, CT, testing, QA background. If I'm a business analyst, I probably might do a couple of these things. And then this is more for which, this is one part which you discussed today, agentic AI mastery. And then I specialize in either 1 or 2. Maybe I go for AWS end-to-end implementation, or Azure, or Oracle, or Google. These are some of the certifications that are available. So AWS AI, there are tons of job on how to implement AI on AWS cloud, or how to use AI with AWS within picture. So AWS has a service called Bedrock, which is for generative AI, agentic AI, all the things that you see on here, Bedrock, and then use these agents on Bedrock. Similarly, they also have SageMaker, which is a more in-depth machine learning service. We call nowadays SageMaker AI. And then there is a continuous integration, continuous delivery, CI/CD and CT for machine learning models, or machine learning doing SageMaker end-to-end. You then go and implement maybe 1, 2. Someone is asking about how many projects. I have tons and tons of projects. These are actual implementation, which AWS is giving to their clients, finance domain, healthcare domain, legal domain, and so on. So these we cover around 8 to 10 projects on AWS. You can pick one or two or things. And then we help you with the certification like AI practitioner or machine learning associate or generative AI, any of these certifications. And again, tons and tons of guys who are cleared these certifications to set you apart from this. Same thing, this is another one, AWS certified. Now, the way I've mentioned about AWS, there are tons of jobs in Azure as well. So if you see Azure AI, both in US, this is Canada, this is UK, this is India. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of jobs available. On one side, people say, oh, there's not enough jobs. But if you see and look at, all these jobs are transitioning to AI. So that is what you see here, jobs. And then, as I said earlier, Microsoft has AI Foundry as a platform to build, develop, design, deploy AI agents. We're going to cover this. And then something similar to SageMaker on AWS, Microsoft has Azure Machine Learning Studio. So you learn all these things on Microsoft Azure if you want to go and specialize yourself in Microsoft Azure. And then you do both data pipeline on top of that machine learning pipeline end-to-end, bringing data and then creating machine learning pipeline on and end-to-end on Microsoft Azure Cloud. And then the way you did in Azure Cloud, AWS Cloud project, you do AI project for Azure. Now here we are not limiting to Agentic AI. They are much more bigger than Agentic AI. So earlier the 5 projects you saw, they were specific to Agentic AI. These here that you see here, AWS or Azure, these are actual bigger AI projects, including RAG and other things. Of course, there might be some Agentic as well here, but end-to-end AI projects implementation. And then there are 3 certifications on Microsoft Azure AI related: the AI Fundamental, AI 900, Azure AI Engineer, AI 102, or Data Scientist, which is DP 100. Now, again, as I said, certification is easy because we give you all the sample exam questions, certification questions, etc., everything that you get. So you're never guessing. You have all the questions, answers, explanation, and they're constantly being updated. We used to do it in 23, 24, 25, and now 2026. We're constantly updating these questions as exam improves. So, and again, we have guys, as I said, tons and tons of guys who are certified on these. So certification is easy for us, in my view. We also, let's suppose some guys want to go Google. In 2026, we used to do Google. Now we're bringing back in 2026, Google AI machine learning. If you want to specialize in Google, because there are tons of job in Google AI ML. So we're going to cover, if you want to pick Google, you focus Google. Google has a Vertex AI, so which is a model garden. This is where you pick up the models, like all the LLMs that we're talking about, or foundation models. Then this is the AI builder. And so you can build AI agents from here on Vertex AI. So again, there are 2 certifications in Google, which is Agentic AI Leader or Machine Learning Engineer. So you pick either one, all of them, and so on. You get sample exam questions. Am I making sense? Is it all flowing or not flowing? How many of guys are for my operations admin guys? A lot of guys were asking. Just wanted to see we're still here with me. Yes, Rama, thank you very much. Me, ops admin, brilliant, Rizwan. So we go to how many admins? Because I started my career as a DBA, database administrator in Oracle. There must be more sysadmin. DevOps guys. Who are DevOps guys? Operations admin. Inti, finance and accounting, you go more as a consultant Inti. Brilliant, Rizwan. Rohit, the developer, you build and develop using Python and develop Agentic. But then don't limit yourself to developer, go bigger. Okay, so something similar in operations, you'll be basically deploying. You saw earlier deployment and management of these operations models that you see. Okay, then you have, so there are, for operations, I'm deploying the agent which I've received from developer in maybe continuous integration, continuous testing, continuous delivery, deployment. I'm doing an observability management. And then I'm also going to play sometime maybe tester role, QA role. I'm going to test. So this whole point is about ML ops that you see from DevOps evolution. I'm going to learn tools like ML flow, Kubeflow. These are Kubernetes implementation machine learning flow. I'm also going to do maybe GitHub action or PyCaret or DexHub, which is now I need to manage my code. I need to manage my model, but also data associated with that model. And then I'm going to run maybe Bento ML machine learning or there are a lot of other hallucination protection, there's a biasness protection, how I reach to a particular point, evidently AI. So all these tools you should be doing if you want to go specialize into machine learning operations. So there are a lot of hands-on lab we give you. There are also projects do for MLOps guys, depending on your MLOps guys. Now we also give you end-to-end project for model deployment, management, all MLOps. So these are a couple of projects for my administrator MLOps guys. So I'm not limiting one project, two projects. There are tons and tons of projects. The whole point is about my whole implementation learning. I did it using projects. I learned using projects. So this is what you see in project implementation with tons and tons of guys. I'm not going to go here because of time, but this is a whole model which I open up for my. This has been my result of hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of guys have been successful in 2025. One is successful in 2024, 2023, and we're going to repeat that same thing in 2026 as well. So you pick what is right for you based on your background, because there'll be some overlap or other on when you're going on projects, because when you're going for interviews, they want someone who knows about these things, depending on your level, which is cloud for beginners and AI for beginners. And then from here, you pick what is right for you. Maybe it's kind of a buffet. What am I going to do at that minute in my career? I'm going to pick that. And then I might specialize maybe 1 or 2 points here. Am I making sense? Does it? That is how you become good. The only mistake people do is they feel overwhelmed. Oh gosh, do I have to do all these things? And what they do is they try to learn everything at once. So this is a eventual goal for us to achieve, but we're not going to do in a day one. They say Rome was not built in a day. I didn't learn all these things on day one. I started my journey in machine learning 2019. I've been doing it for the last 6 years, 7 years. But then I also had some other knowledge. So this is the end goal, but this is you pick and what is right for you. So the mistake people do is they try to learn everything in once. Or they say, I'm going to learn all these things and then only start applying. Then only I'll go interviews. My view is they go hand in hand, which means you learn, and whatever you learned, you apply by going for interviews, failing fast, see what jobs are available, how much gap you have from what you need to be there. You fail fast, you apply for interviews. And then you don't clear the interview, but you know where the gaps are. And then you learn and come back here and say, in the interview, they were asking this. In the job description, they're talking about this. How do I learn this part quickly? And that's how you stay ahead in this game today. So they say action brings clarity. And this is living proof. I've seen you need to search for the job, apply for the job, learn what they're asking in the job, then implement that, go into the interview, fail interview, second interview, fail, third interview, fail, fourth interview, fail. And then by the time of fifth, sixth interview, you will start getting confidence while you're parallelly learning. Now, I know some people might be saying, oh, but I'll lose this opportunity, but this, that, bring those questions, I'm going to cover that. That's the whole point about but, because when I say this is not a lot of guys do this. I've been doing it since 2005. Why? Because I was working as a freelancer contractor. I wanted to increase my salary or take home every couple of 6 months or so. So I kept applying new things, learning new things. That's how we learn. I get paid to learn, which means I learn enough to clear the interview. And then I learn on the job to become best in what I do. And that's how I demand more money. Am I making sense, or is it too much? Is it too much, or is it like, am I making sense? Put in the chat window, you're still with me. I'm going to talk about why you're not getting calls, Rama. If you're not getting interview calls, that's what I'm going to cover. Yes, absolutely. That's the next part. What mistakes? Oh, I'm going to cover my mistakes. I'm going to cover in the end. But why you're not getting calls? I'm going to cover in the next part. Brilliant. Thank you, Brian. Give me a little bit pump up. It's been going almost now 2 hours. I'm going to be your comments, your feedback keeps me alive here. Brilliant. So, as I said, everything I'm going to talk about is actually coming from real experience. So now, if you're doing here and saying you're applying but not getting interview calls, how do we take you from no interview call to multiple interview calls? There are 2 things. One is ATS compliant resume and optimize LinkedIn, and everyone does that. Only to the time they think that they do, but they don't. So what they do, 5 mistakes people do is hey, first interviews, they send same resume. And now it has improved a lot, but I should talk, guys, there are 3 or 4 different job roles. And either out of, we don't know how to write my resume, or being lazy, or think, oh, one resume will kill all, gone were the days. spend at least, especially first 10-15 job applications. Prepare, go, and this is the most important thing. Your resume should match exactly what an employer is asking. Even if you have not done it, as long as you know you're going to do it in the next 3-4 months, if you want to do that, write down everything that an employer is asking, because you can learn all these things. That's how people learn quickly, because when it is required, we are here to support and help you. So write down exactly what is asking the job description, even if you've not done it, as long as something that you want to do. If there's something you don't want to do in next 3-4 months or a year, then skip that job. Pick. So each job role demands separate initially first spend at least 2-3 hours every job. That's how I do. Might sounds too much work, but that's what will set you apart from different. Now, second thing they do is they make non-ATS compliant. ATS stands for application tracking system. There are softwares available which will track and say because for each job these days 100-200 applications goes for each single role. So how recruiters can't or employers can't go through every resume, so they send it to tracking system, and that will decide, score them between 0 to 100, 0 to 10, depending on what ATS tracking software that companies are using. We do the same method. So score, if it's higher the score, I'll pick up 10, 15 or 10%, 15% of those two for interview. So make sure resume is ATS compliant. We give you all these tools as a part of GPTs. We built that system in-house, and we also have third-party tools we've hired. There's a dedicated team sitting in a placement team who does this. We review resume, we give you the feedback, we go through and tell you how much score is based on the job description. So it's not like one size fit all. Each job demands each resume, and we spend majority of time you'll be spending here. So you'll have a GPT that will be getting it, which is it'll even tell you how to create your resume. A lot of time I'm stuck on what should I write in my resume. So we give you all the templates and everything. But then not only that, we'll give you give it your job description, you give your current resume, it'll refine and tell you and making ATS compliant resume based on that. My team will be there and help you on these points. So first, that's mistake number 2. They're not using or not having ATS compliant resume. But then mistake number 3 is write down unnecessary stuff. We review, as I said, for my weekly basis, lots of guys join the program. And one common mistake I do is they try to stuff a lot of unrelated, unnecessary things. If I'm asking about architect role, they write a lot of project management skills. If I'm hiring a project management, they write architect skills. I'm hiring a developer, they write non-development skills. So write what is important for that minute. Now, people might be thinking, oh, but if I do that, what if another job comes with that? I'll cover that point as well. But remove any unnecessary skills, because the more you stuff is more, you have to be very, very focused on write only skills that are relevant. Another mistake people do is they don't write a relevant project. So for example, this is just an example. This is something we actually live. There was a job came and they're asking about LLMs. They're asking about RAG. They're asking about, for example, APIs, calling APIs. They're asking about DevOps. They're asking about containers and Kubernetes and so on. So this is this job. They're asking about ECR, gateways, Lambda, Agentic, LangChain, LangGraph. So I should be writing project around that. So there's a project available on. So we're going to look at, this was a legal case, this company that we're hiring for. So you write your project based on legal. If the job description was around healthcare domain, you write healthcare domain related, but all the skills on, and write down in your project, in your resume as a project. So there are those are projects which I mentioned. That's mistake number 4. Are you still with me, guys? Put in the chat window, are you still with me? Are you still here? We're going to cover this one. That's exactly what we're going to cover. That's the third part. So first is you get an interview call. So one step at a time. First, I'm getting an interview call, and then I'm going to clear which going to cover that. Am I going fast, or is it okay? Is it all right? Brilliant. Thank you. Okay. Next part is, again, a lot of guys miss that. Don't do follow-up. I do follow up pretty much every guy. Now, if you don't have time, you hire someone on and do $10, $15, they will do it on your behalf. We can do it for you. There's an additional service. I think you should be following up on your own one as well. So how do we do the follow-up? This is an example. I'm based in UK. I'm giving an example of UK, but you can do same in US or Canada or Europe or India or wherever you are. So not all, but majority of job descriptions have who is the contact person on that job. You can easily go, in this case, for example, Steve Delay. from DevOps. He's from a company called SR2. So all I need to do is very simple these days. Go to Google, LinkedIn, and search Steve Delhi, SR2. You'll find a person, connect with that person. Even we write down and give it to you how to prepare a message to write down, because these guys are busy. So you should send a message which basically grabs their attention, because you don't have a lot of time, or they get tons of messages. How do you write down? We give you all these GPTs and say, so that you can connect and they will connect with you. And then there's another tip which I think I've mentioned, which I'm going to share in a minute. And then you do the follow up both through email, via job portal, and through LinkedIn, because you don't want to miss any opportunity. So do follow up with all the 3 channels. So we give you a resume clinic where we give you all these things, not only how to build a resume, sample resume, critique, GPTs, but on a weekly basis, we run these job clinic. You come and ask, resume clinic, where you come and review, get your reviewed. Tons and tons of guys. You will learn a lot from others by looking at this screenshot of guys which have done in last 3-4 years. All the results are here. So, and this is exactly what I've done, and you see the result. That's why people get the result. People come to me and say, oh, how come they've got the result? Because they followed this exactly on here. Let me remove this point here. These points should have been highlighted. So I moved to Australia. So Joby, based in Australia, like he's from the US, moved to Southern Australia. Resources are very, very, not many jobs in Southern Australia, as we're told. He had some of the things, but he was stuck not getting interview calls. Fix exactly this and saying, prepared me how to prepare for resume and interviews with the right attitude. And then I started getting back-to-back interview calls, and this resulted in a job offer within 2 weeks. Now, I'm not saying that everyone will get a job in 2 weeks. I'm telling you, it's possible and doable. Okay, but then you'll start getting interview calls if you follow this. Another one, Roni, not confident to super confident. The resources provided in the training, preparing for the interview, helped me to understand and go bigger, deeper. The mock interviews, especially the helpful in refining my approach. So although I've not secured a job, I feel much more confident in my interview skills. This has helped. So the mock interviews, the resume, and though I've not got a job, but I'm hopeful that I'm confident now. That in itself, not being confident to super confident, is the most important part. Once you have that confidence, you'll start doing that. And I'm very, very proud to say got a job last year on Roni. So again, so that's just one part of this. But then I also need to optimize my LinkedIn. Because of time, I'm going to go fast. There are 13-point checklists we give, but most important is headline, summary, and experience. These are 2 very, very important points, 3 important points. So how does a headline look like? Watch the recording of after. Pause this point. How does a headline should look like? How does the about section should look like? We give you all these things, all the 13-point checklist, and we also give you a link profile review. This is an example of, again, Devashish. You might have seen he transitioned from Oracle background to first cloud and then to AI. Perfect example. You see, you've done Oracle and Azure. And if someone with the Oracle background can do it into AI and cloud, no doubt you can do as well. So you'll see. And so we give all these on review. But that's, in my view, in 2026, things are going much, much bigger and better. So you build an authority. What I mean by build an authority is whatever projects we give you, whatever hands-only we give you, we even give you a prompt or a GPT prompt and say, how do you project that as an authority? How do you write it? So this is an example of one, which is an old example of AWS CloudWatch. So you write that showing that you've done that work for a client. Not like I'm learning, but I'm already implementing these things. So if I'm an employer, if I'm a recruiter, and I'm facing these similar problems, if I'm going on your resume come to me for interview, and if I see you're posting like this, not now, but for almost 2-3 weeks or 5 months or so, 6 months, and I see your resume comes, immediately I build a thinking about you. You already know about this stuff. These are simple, but very, very effective and powerful. We give you on how to write even. So labs you perform, one step in our program or a project is after doing a project or lab, you write down as you're implementing for a client, how to write down that structure as well. And this is exactly what done. I was talking about Jesse. I did a project, we did a RAG project, and I received a message from a recruiter for an opportunity in AI engineer role. This is Michael, I've already mentioned. This is Prasad. Hey, After changing my LinkedIn resume, TCS and full stack of people, I started getting calls from great companies, and then TCS full stack are offering 240K. Am I making sense, guys? Am I making sense? Okay, there are some guys also are taking. Samuel, my team will help you on. Brilliant, thank you. Okay, so yeah, this is how you get it. So this is an example of, as I said, Amol's profile shortlisted. So this is exactly what we said to do. Updating my resume and preparing for interview questions, tailoring my resume as per the job description, which have boosted my confidence in my job search process, made me feel well prepared, also given me motivation to apply. This itself, people are nervous and not even apply. But if you do those things, you'll start getting confidence. And when you see others implementing, you'll be happy as well. So refining my experience to align with my potential role, much more enthusiastic, optimistic, applying for new opportunities. My profile has been currently shortlisted into organization. Every person you see here have eventually got a result. This is I'm talking about. They were discussing in our WhatsApp group. Again, Amol from India. This is what you'll be seeing. So just put in the chat window, if you follow what I've mentioned, do you think you'll start getting interview call? Yes or no? If you follow exactly what I'm telling you. Implementation is important. Just put in the chat window, yes or no. Thanks, Brian. Thanks, Ramesh. What's the difference between, I will talk about that in a minute, NT. Just put it, guys, put in the chat window and tell me, will you get it or not if you implement? And the whole point is about implementation. I have everything that you need to know or you need to do, it's implementation. I'm going to pick up the guys. There are a lot of questions are coming. I'll pick up, unmute yourself and we'll ask tons of questions because you might be coming. So don't worry. I'm not going to leave you anywhere here. Okay. Now that's step 2, but that's the actual beginning. You have to do the job offer. And that's what another bring me to the next point. How do I clear then those interviews? Because getting interview call, if you follow this, you'll start getting interview calls. But how do I clear them? And that takes us to the third phase or third step of this whole journey, which is going from no interview call or not able to clear interviews to multiple job offer, no job offer to multiple job offer. And this is where we prepare you. This is where a lot of our effort goes into doing a lab, doing a project, preparing a resume, all these things are done. Your actual journey is mock interviews, because I know I was on a contract, long contract between 2007 to 2012. Okay. And 2007 to 12, I'll share my story as well, what happened on those. So I was, okay, maybe I'll cover a little bit towards end. When I was not applying 2012, after 4 years, I became nervous on application because I've never done those. I was nervous about mock interviews. And this is where to unearth like basically a simulation kind of actual interview preparation, mock interviews. We do scenario based, troubleshooting based, actual implementation questions, and real world implementation. And we follow the STAR method. Most of you guys probably aware of. Now, this is how companies hire these days. They put you in a situation, how you have done these things. If in this situation, what would you do? Or how did you do that kind of a problem statement as well? So we give you all mock interviews. We run multiple mock interviews. You can present. So there'll be a group. One person, the mock interview will be for one person, but then all others will be watching and seeing. And then interviewer will present like an actual interview. We even give you the list of questions based on the job description. So we have, as I said, 200 plus freelancers or contractors. So we'll refine based on the job description what questions you can expect in the interview. And I'm so proud to say almost 40 to 50%, because we review after every interview call, people have to go, almost 40 to 50% interview questions come from that list we give. But it's not one size fit all. It'll be based on the job description. It'll be based on your experience. It'll be based on combination of those things, what you've written in your resume, what client want. And that's why we put in a lot of effort. So we give mock interviews, all the previous batch recordings, mock interviews recording will be available for you. So going back to how you learn all these things quickly, you search. So once you have a basic idea about what you're going to apply for, basic idea about in a couple of weeks, then I'm going to go and search for job. I'm going to apply, see where the gaps are, prepare for the interview, fail in interview, first, second, third, fourth interview or practice interviews. And then I start slowly gaining a confidence and rinse and repeat this process. So I said, I'm 100% confident if you do this. That's why I put in my 100% money back guarantee, not 1 month, 2 months, the program which I'm going to do next level, which is pro level, expert level. I'm 100% confident if you do. That's why I put in 6 months money back guarantee. So it's not about, oh, will I get a job or not? It's guaranteed you'll get a job as long as you implement. That's the key point. And this is what exactly you're hired, exactly what Shrija. So joined K21 Academy on August 2024. And then with a lot of dilemma, uncertainty. I'm transitioning from DevOps to AI/ML ops, which is a complete unknown for me. I had no idea how to overcome the challenges. But K21 Academy's technical team, structured classes, hands-on practice helped me tremendously. Mentorship program is top-notch, guiding, and this is actual her word. By the task, I started marketing my profile by last week of September. So if you look at August and by end of September, she started marketing profile, focusing on resume building, LinkedIn profile, customizing, sharing, designing, insight of AI/ML tools, concepts, practical work. The strategies suggested by K21 Academy played a huge role in attracting recruiters. And she got a job in January because November, December mid to January first week is always slow market. So, but she in January 2025. If you're looking to transition into AI/ML or for any technology, just follow the structured videos, practical assignment, profile building strategies as well. As I said, tons and tons. I will go board, Nazif. Oh, let me clean these ones. I joined K21 Academy in June and received the offer in September. I'm not saying everyone will get that, but just wanted to be, this is possibility, June to September, not a lot of time. Yunus, I attended 3 different interviews. First interview was flop, but second and third interview went very well. I'm expecting an offer letter from both the companies. I can go on and on. Result, Atisha is from my team. Hey, Atisha, she's part of placement recruitment team. Just wanted to say thank you for the last mock-up interview. I passed my technical interview, waiting for the final one. Just wanted to say thank you for support and guidance. So if you do those mock interviews, will you get an increase the chances or not? Put in the chat window and say, still, we are, wow. Does it make sense? Does it make sense? Yes, we implement post, especially RAG. Yeah, okay. If you do these things, will you increase the chances of, if you do the mock interviews, will it increase chances or not? Put the chat window, yes or no. Again, we don't stop here because, as I said, it's not about getting a job. Your actual journey becomes once you get a job. So we go extra mile. We support you for 1 year job. So once you get a job, it's not about getting a job. It's about support on that job, because once you get a job, your next journey becomes his on-job support. So this is example exactly, Srinivas. Okay, I really got this confidence after attending your sessions. Allowed me to take a prestigious project, a multi-million-dollar project. I'm leading a team of 30 members. So not only you this, but you need to answer your teams and colleagues' questions. And that is where the whole session comes. So as I said, there's a 3-step framework. We go from learning to project work, to resume, to LinkedIn, to tech interviews, behavior interviews, so that you get a job. This is the 3-step framework I've opened up for everyone and anyone you do. As I said, the start, we block. So my calendar for this coming month, we already have 25 seats. Because it takes a lot of effort and handholding. So we limit because we invite all the previous guys, and there's a capacity of my team because there will be a lot of customization and handholding required. So 20 seats, you can pick, everyone will get these middle ones. You can pick either 1 or 2 of the top ones. Objective is not to do everything. Objective is to do what is required for you to get a job. That's why I open up everything for you. So as I said, there's a 1 single fees of $6,000 or 4 monthly payment of $1,750. Now, maybe this is the last time we're going to do this price. We're going to change the pricing model. So right now you get everything which I mentioned about program, or everything that you see on the top, which I mentioned, you see all these things. And I also get it all on-job support and everything on this for 1 year. But then what we're doing is we're changing this. So you have single payment of $6,000 or 4 payment of $1,750. You pick what is right for you. We give you all these certifications. And if you do right now, as I said earlier, you get Kubernetes on cloud for absolutely free, which is containers and Kubernetes, which will help you in Kubernetes on AWS cloud, which is EKS, Elastic Kubernetes Service. Kubernetes on Azure cloud, Azure Kubernetes Service. Kubernetes on Google Cloud, Google Kubernetes Engine. Kubernetes on Oracle Cloud, which is Oracle Kubernetes Engine. Why? Because all your AI machine learning models run on containers and Kubernetes these days. So there's a webinar bonus. If you go to the market, if you look at everything, easily more than 30,000, 40,000, because you within first year itself, you will earn that much extra. This I'm talking about minimal. This is how much I'm talking about minimal you will earn if you spend time wisely, if you work with us closely. But then people have got tons and tons of extra. So we do about 6,000. We don't charge anything after this. This is one. So you have two options on this. URL is k21academy.com/AI job live. I'm going to pick up the tons of questions that are coming. So what you're going to happen is if you go to this URL, k21academy.com/AI job live, those who have already bought Agentic AI, you can stay there or you can upgrade to here, which means you get Agentic AI free. So Agentic AI, which I mentioned earlier, is absolutely part of this whole bundle with that you see. So if you see here now, Agentic AI that you see here, and this Python that you get into, these two. So this is all bundled here in this one. So we don't. Now, as I said, yeah, so this is what you see. I'll be picking up questions, any questions you might have, and we'll be unmuting if you have, there are tons of guys still here. So thank you for being. So what is going to happen is you pick up what is, choose an option. You can either go for single payment of $6,000 or 4 monthly payment of $1,750, which means you pay now one single payment. Next month automatically $1,750 for 4 months. That's it. You get unlimited retake over the next 1 year. You have free all this, everything that I mentioned is bundled into this. So you don't need to worry about. You pick what is right. Again, same process will be onboarding will happen, but we'll customize this based on your background, right thing for you. But interview preparation, resume preparation, unlimited. My objective is you get a result. That's the whole point. People ask me, oh, should I go for one single payment or 4 monthly payments? You decide what is right for you. If you can afford, go for single. If you can't, or if you want to have a little bit of cash, you can put into 4 payments. Okay, I hope so. So everything, as I said, comes this with 6 months money back guarantee, which is more than enough for to get a result. My humble request is don't come into the program if you're not sure or doubtful, or if you don't implement. Okay, because without implementation, whatever you learn, if you don't implement, it's waste. But one thing is guaranteed: if you implement the way we are telling you, you'll get result for sure. Period. And I can go up more than 300, 400 testimonials just from last year. That's how confident I am. So you select, pick up the program, whatever is right for you. You can either pay through PayPal or credit card or debit card. You click on I agree to terms and conditions and click on register now. URL is, which is given here, k21academy.com/AI job life. Now, this time when you go for this, you go to ahead one more group, which is interview preparation job. So there'll be one is for technical technical group, but then second group, you'll have one more WhatsApp group, one more community, which is about interview preparation, resume, LinkedIn, all those things that you've done or mentioned to prepare for the job. So k21academy.com/AI job live. Now, so this is how the portal look like for you. So you will have start here at the beginning, but LinkedIn, which I mentioned, will be everything in LinkedIn. Interview preparation in LinkedIn. We're also going to go interview preparation, go deeper based on your job role. If you're an architect, developer, administrator, leader, and so on. On monthly basis, we do all your customization specific to your roadmap, your path will be member makeover. Every month we run multiple projects. We also do lots of things that you will see inside the program. So no doubt about it. Also, so once you're done, we track everything in a progress diary. It's specific to you, so they can track how much you're working, how you're working, so that you're accountable and we're accountable to you on this point. So one question keep coming is, what if I don't get a result? Very valid point. But my counter question is, imagine for a minute, what if you get a result? So just turn the question head on the round. People come and say, what if I don't get a result? And I'm saying, imagine for a minute if you get a result. You'll easily get 30, 40,000 extra, easily. And can be more people have done. But if you don't, that's why everything is covered by full money back guarantee. But you have to do the work again. As I said, don't come in and say, I'm going to try out. I outwardly say, because once you don't get a result, because for me, my success rate in 2023 was 91%. In 2025, it was 93%. And for 2026, I want to go beyond 93%. I'm aiming towards 95%, which means out of 100 people come, 93 got result in 2025. So in 2026, I want 95 guys to get a result out of every 100 people come. Why? Because if you implement, you'll get a result. Now, 5 or 3, you might be saying, oh, why then 7% don't get a result? Because either they don't know to do the work, and if you're one of them, please don't come. come with you want result, because for me, I light up when I see people are implementing things. So we're full money, but we're going to ask you to do, have you done the hands-on project, apply for the jobs. After every 4 or 5 jobs, we'll be tracking everything on these things so that you're accountable, we are accountable. Get your CV reviewed, resume reviewed, come into the sessions, ask for help. And I know not everyone will be available all the time, but at least watch the recording. Show me that you actually done the work, because without doing, you'll not get result, period. But everything that you need to get result is all here. I'm going to pick up 1 or 2 questions. People might say expensive. How many guys, depending on, I'll take 1 or 2 questions and I'm going to then pick up this. Someone in my team who can pick up, let me see. Yeah, this is what I'm going to show and present. Let's take 1 or 2 questions. Unmute on if you have any. Rizwan, the slide deck is for my members. Anyone, there's a hand up, 1 hand up. I would love to have cameras on. Monisha, I've unmuted you. Oh, sorry, I'm muted. Why did you allow us to unmute? Over to you, Monisha. Unmute yourself and ask the question because I saw your hands up. Guys, anyone have will do? Anyone who's thinking it's expensive, put in the chat window. I'm going to cover that. Anyone have any questions? Ask to unmute. Okay. Should we take any questions or no? Karthik, Ussav from my team. Ussav, over to you. Monisha, if you don't have any question, I'm going to put your hand down. Okay, I'm lowering your hand. Okay, if you have any questions, unmute. Does anyone have any questions? Good point. Absolutely. It's expensive. Those who are saying it's expensive, give me a couple of points on those who are saying, because that's my next. I know this question keeps coming. If you think it's expensive, Ramesh, the tons of guys. Every we, as I said, every month we pretty much almost fully booked. Get on well on time. Brilliant. Harry, 1 second. First of all, Henny, welcome to the program. 1 second. I think I've already mentioned Rian, Matt, Sean, welcome to the program. Thank you very much. Grishma already mentioned to you. Sahil, welcome to the program. Guys, now I'm going to cover, it's expensive. I'll take because I have questions, and unmute yourself if you have any questions. Let me know, put it in the chat window. Any questions? It's expensive. This is something which I probably used to think. And this is, first of all, IT professionals who have AI machine learning skills earn more than at least 47% higher than anyone else who doesn't have AI skills. So let's suppose you are 2 guys. One is AI, and second person doesn't have AI. They get 47% higher salary for short period amount. So whether you do it with me or someone, you get. Now, these also, if you see the salaries, companies are paying, amount of salaries we do. Now you'll be surprised. We have around tons and tons of guys come from India, and India is, you don't earn as competitively as high in US or Canada or UK, but then people come left, right, center from India. A lot of testimonials you see from India as well. So I was talking about this, my story. I'll take 5 minutes of my story back in 2005 so you can correlate. Please listen carefully, because I think I've covered multiple times. People keep coming back and tell me this is exactly what I was going through. So this is me, 2005, February 2005. I came into UK in 2004 from India, and I got a job as £2,400 a month, which I went into bank, HSBC Bank, for opening my account, and I was 26 or 27, 25 or 26 at the time. The lady told me, this I'm talking about 2004, lady told me, oh, wow, this is a good salary. And I was pretty happy with that. And I was thinking I'm on top of the world. Just a month later, I saw a colleague of mine, which later became my business partner. In 2012, we started a company together. I saw his contract rate. He was working as a freelancer, a contractor, £550 a day. I was on 425. Sorry, I was on 2,400 a month, or 2,500 a month. He was doing £550 a day multiplied by 24 days in excess of £12,000. So suddenly I was very happy to very disappointed to £12,000. And I realized if he can do, he was just 1 or 2 years ahead of me in terms of experience. So I think if he can do, I can do as well. And I looked into the market that time. I was working on Oracle technologies at the time as an Oracle DBA, managing Oracle Imperial College entire site and a lot of other things, ERP system and so on. I went to Oracle site and I saw a contract job, which is a security related project, earning I think they were doing 425 or 450 pound a day. And I thought I should do that. So I went to Oracle website, and that was price of that program itself was 3,000, 5 days in Reading. I used to live in London, or I still live in London, but in different part of London. So that means first of all, I have to pay 3,000 pounds. I have to also pay 5 days off, which means I'm not going to be paid for my salary cut. Also have to drive down because I was not driving. I have to take a train and stay there in hotel and so on. At first, because I come from India, money was tight. I thought I can't afford it. It's expensive. So I said, no, I'm not going to do it. It's expensive. I'm going to learn on my own, like typically we do. That's what I've been born and brought up. I've done all those my previous 4 years, and that's why it looked like a lot of work for me for the first 4 years. So February, this was around February month, March, April, May. I was learning weekends, evenings, afternoon break, whatever time I could find, I learned. And one failed interview, second failed interview, third failed interview, fourth failed interview, multiple failed interviews. And I was recently got married on that year. And my wife was, by the time of 5th or 6th months, she was pretty pissed off. She might be saying, I'm not spending time with family, because I was really, really passionate about how I can do on that much. And then October-ish, she said, enough. And in worst case, we're going to lose 3,000 pounds, but at least you'll know whether you cut for this or not, or something, what's happening. Worst case, what will happen? And like many of you guys might be here, and I can now sense and I realize I was very, very nervous on what if it doesn't work? What if it happens? And still, so I registered for this course. And I think third day on that program, inside the classroom, I realized what mistakes I was doing. So brilliant program. The guys were done pretty well. Now, when I applied, I didn't get a job immediately. I think 3 or 4 weeks later, I got a job. I remember the day on which I got a job that you see the salary slip, you see 425 a day. This was my company at the time. Also, I did from 2005 February to next 2 years or next 1.5 or 2 years, I was on that contract rate. On I think 2006, don't remember, but I didn't get a 450 pound or 500 or 550, but I got a 425 pound a rate. And the first lesson learning was on that year, I lost 70,000. Even though that clicked to mind in 2006, I was very happy on November, December. I was very, very happy on. But in 2006, I reflected back and I was saying I lost 70,000 pound. Let me hear out. There are tons and tons of guys are here still. And that is the aha moment, first moment. I lost, even though I earned good money on 2006 and end of 2005, but I lost 70,000 pounds. How? If I would have done this a little bit sooner, I would have done easily extra 10,000 pounds per month, spread over 7, 8 months. And that was the aha moment for me. So I made a mistake of this, and then came back in 2011, 12, which I'll explain you in a second part. So that day I realized that, hey, when I'm going to make decisions, I'm going to make a decisions based on not on how much money I'm investing in myself, but if I don't do this, how much money I'm going to lose if I don't do it. We don't look at from that point. And that 2006 lesson, I'm carrying forward till date. And that was the aha moment for me. So I realized, no. So again, let me go back again. How much money I'm going to lose if I don't do this? And that's what people don't understand or don't do. If I would not have done, maybe I would have either never or with a marginally growth. So then second idea was second time in 2014 or 15, I was doing Oracle Cloud. I had the same decision. This time on Oracle 2014-15, Oracle was nowhere in the cloud domain. I worked very, very, again, because I was from Oracle background, I had to learn Oracle Cloud, and there was nothing in UK. I had to flew to US. That time I was doing 700, 800, because if you see now contract rate, that's probably around 700, 800 pound I was doing that time. I had to flew to US, which means I have to take not just 1 week, now probably 10 days or so break. I have to hotel. And Oracle US Oracle US is not a cheap training they do. But I was learning directly from experts. And then that was a lot of money, but I realized I thought for a day or two, but realized I'm not going to make the mistake which I did in 2005. So booked the flight, paid a lot of money, but then that opened up a lot of contacts with or within Oracle itself consulting. I did one of the biggest migration in the UK for Oracle Cloud, among the first one that later made me tons and tons of money. This, so that was second aha moment for me was on never thought. I now have a coach. I pay unimaginable money to my coach, not from this for technical. I have multiple coaches. I learn from a lot of guys. So again, as I said, this is not me. I'm saying this is James. So let me move these a little bit here. I think instead of highlighting gone wrong. So whether it's the certifications or job entry program, you can't, there is a zero compromise. You cannot go wrong with K21Academy. I never felt so supported. I've been rather intimidated proposition. Now, it's not just how, like the result, it's not, I've not even finished the project. It's about what result you're going to get it. So definitely you're going to get result, but the game now people play inside the program is how better result, how much more extra money I can earn by implementing this. So they said, this is another lesson, which I'm going to maybe because of the time, I'm not going to cover, but 2012, 11, 12, another phase, which I'll go quickly is this is where I become arrogant. I was earning, I think 600, 700 pounds a day. And from 2007 to 2011, 12, I was earning and I never learned new things. I became arrogant and say, oh, I know everything and so on. By the time 2011, 12 came and people were moving to cloud. People were doing DevOps, container. People started DevOps. Container Kubernetes was not even that time started even. So I had to realize that, oh, I have to constantly upgrade myself. So if you see now from Oracle to cloud, to Oracle Cloud, to multi-cloud, to AI, I've kept learning. So another tip was, whatever you're doing right now, if you don't upgrade yourself quickly, whether you do it with us or someone else, make sure you learn all these things quickly. And trust me, this is, I said, I can keep on saying, Naman, this is a trust pilot. K21Academy knows that every penny we invest on, and they will do justice. Why I say confidently is, for me, is because I've gone through the journey first 4 or 5 years. I know how tight money is, and I can charge a lot of money, which I'm probably, but then I wanted to provide the real value, and that's why people see, they register, they get result, and they come back again year on year on year. So this is again another one, Sajid. Overall, again, Trustpilot. Overall, I'm happy with the invest in myself. The dividends will pay for in no time. If it's not in time, so don't hesitate. In no time, don't hesitate. Invest in yourself. This will help in a great team. Another one here, as I said, yes, you can do on your own, no doubt. And some of guys are already doing that, but it's complicated. It's confusing. It's stressful. Why I'm telling is I've done these things myself. I've already mentioned these guys. I'm not going to repeat it. These are the guys, people who come to the program and say it. So if you really want to get result, take imperfect action. Don't sit and take action as well. So as I said, I'm not going to, this is something I think I've taken way longer than the time, but I'm opening the questions. I'll be doing. So you two, this is whole program which I mentioned about. AI, machine learning. This comes with resume, LinkedIn, interview, anything and everything that you need for job prep as well. So you have both the options. Either you're going for Agentic AI, which is for technical knowledge that doesn't come with interview, resume, all those things. This is where I've opened up everything so I can guarantee you the result that you do. Okay, both are good. Both are. So this is the URL. I'll be taking up. I've been going on for last almost closer to 3 hours, just shy of 3 hours now. So any questions you have, Utsav, pick up the questions. We can unmute guys if anyone wants to do that. Rizwan is saying, I've already enrolled in. Okay, if you're already enrolled program, you don't need to worry about 1 second. I've already enrolled in pay program. It covers similar topics that you've shown us. Can you please give us advice on phase 4? And Rizwan, if you want to do unmute yourself, I'm going to pick up. Manish, internet is all fine. From my side, it's all fine. 1 second. Brilliant. So guys, I'm going to take up the questions live. Still, as I said, I'm going to go as much as possible because I see tons of questions. Sorry for onboarding and going above and beyond. If you want to talk to someone, you can apply, K21Academy.com/apply. My team will be there to help and do. Thank you very, very much on Ben. Welcome to the program. Ariman, welcome to the program. And thank you very much for trusting and believing. Yeah. So can we take few questions or we close that? So because I said I'm going over all the time right now here, but let me know. Let me read the questions. Or is one. If you enroll with other vendor, please go ahead and continue with them. Don't change if you say. Rohit, can you unmute yourself? The question is saying, how fast can be completed? Rohit, it's up to you. Everything that you need is available for you. So if you tell me what your objective is, we can give you a shortcut in your learning as well. So we'll tell you, depending on results. So I don't know what your is. If you're okay to unmute, we can tell you and I can tell you how quickly you can learn. Let me know. I'll need a little bit of more information about, but everything that you need is immediately available. You don't need to wait for. In fact, I ask everyone to learn as quickly as possible, please. Okay. Recording will be available, guys. So Chandrasekhar, recording will be available. I'm okay. Kalai, I'm an Oracle as an Oracle developer. I did not find a path. So Kalai, again, there are lots and lots of questions coming. I need a little bit more information. So anyone who wants to put their hand up will be unmuting and taking questions. I think that'll be better way of me because then they can unlearn. So those who are asking questions, please unmute up, raise your hand up. I see either people that don't know how to raise or they're asking the question. I can see the questions are coming, but not asking. So, so Ustav, can you please unmute and then ask a couple of questions which people are asking? Rizwan, if you've done the training with someone, please continue with them. And so your question is these topics related to Agentic AI. Let me pick up the question. Let me see the question. So this topic, this topic related to Agentic AI phase for Agentic AI automation, a RAG and LangChain, Q&A chatbot, Agentic AI level 1, Hugging Face spaces, Agentic AI 2 of questions. Sorry, I don't think, Rizwal, I'm not sure I've read the question again correctly. Ustav, can you read the question again, please, carefully? Or unmute yourself, Rizwan. Ustav is speaking, I can't hear you. Okay, how to unmute? Let me put it on how to unmute. Rizwal, if there's a hand up button on the bottom. So, okay, yeah, allowed to talk. Over to you, Rizwan. You have an option to ask to unmute. Can you unmute yourself?
Are you able to hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Yeah,
yes,
thank
brilliant.
you so much. Your sessions were very interactive. Actually, I just wanted to know, I shared a few of the topics. Actually, I already enrolled one of the AI kind of like program. Okay. And it's been, I think it's for 6 months. So we are like already completed 60 to 70% of that. So there were like few topics I was like comparing from the sessions which you were like I was like comparing from the decks which you were like showing. So I can like see few of the topics are already there in in the what we say the topics which was like provided by them. So I've pasted few of the topics. So I just wanted to know like is it similar what you were like offering or how it is? I've just pasted once again the topics.
Yes, we're saying so RAG and LangChain. So I don't know how deep they are going, and but then business workflow multi-agent. So this is what they're covering or not covering?
No, they are covering this topic. If you allow me, I will attach the PPT which talks about all the topics they are covering.
But what is the question now? Like if you're doing, continue with them. Why you want to come here?
No, I just wanted to ask whether if I like continue with them, I will be able to like get the kind of hands-on in the agentic AI
So go ahead
kind of
and
thing.
put my offer to them and say, hey, am I going to get all this? Because I don't know what they are asking, what they're doing. But I think they probably should be doing good job. Have you asked for the guarantee?
Yeah, guarantee is there. I mean, they are saying like, okay, you have to give your all time and something like that. What you have like offered, you have to like give your you have to put your efforts and all those things, and
so
we'll
go
be
ahead and
able
do
to
that.
do it.
Yeah, so go ahead and do
Actually,
that.
I'm working as an Oracle middleware administrator specifically for. I think I'm like having a similar skills which you are having earlier, like the Oracle middleware administration.
Rizwan, I'll tell you one thing. Don't overthink it. Just do it.
Okay. So
Okay,
I don't have
don't
to be
overthink.
worried, right? If I continue with them and don't enroll to this one.
No, I think whatever you think, go ahead and implement. That's more important. Okay, I'm not asking you to change anyone. If it's working and if you're enjoying, continue doing that.
Okay, but we are like yet to come to those topics. Those are not covered yet. Some of the things are like covered, like N8N1, the make.com,
So N8, okay, I'll tell you, N8 and make are not true AI. These are workflows.
Okay, and we are like we were like we are in the topics of machine learning and the deep learning and the national language processing. Those kind of topics are going on currently.
No worries.
I
Go ahead
think
with them.
the supervised learning and supervised learning, they are taught, they are teaching those topics.
So see, most of the companies will teach. The objective is about what result you want and how quickly you want that result. Rohit, we're going to cover in a minute. Come to you in a minute. Okay.
Okay, thank you so much.
All the best. Good luck.
Thank you.
Okay, Rizwan. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Rohit, if you can unmute, like put guys, those who want to talk, put your hand up. If I'm saying, let me find out Rohit to you. I think Rohit, I've given you option. Rohit Roy, unmute yourself. Rohit, if you're speaking, I've given you. Can you try speaking? So your question is, I want to be able, like Rohit, can you hear me? Looks like there's an audio problem. There's some technical glitch. No, we can't hear you. Wait, we can't hear you. Okay, I think there is a. Okay, what I'm going to do is, it looks like there's a technical glitch. My team is also trying to speak.
Atul, can you just bear one more minute with me? I'm just
Sure.
pasting all the topics which were like given by them. It's a PDF, so I have converted into text. Just see it, okay? Okay, just a moment.
Utsav, do you mind sharing, asking question, or try speaking? Maybe there's a technical glitch. I'm not able to hear anyone except Rizwan. No. It'll be.
Atul, can you quickly review this topic if you don't mind, please?
It'll take a lot more than this time, buddy.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
It'll take a lot more than now.
I've pasted everything. I've pasted everything.
No, but Rizwan, what I'm trying to say is, don't compare, don't do. What is your ultimate objective, Rizwan? Why you want to learn all this? Let's go back. No, learning will lifelong will continue. A lot of guys come to me and set the program and say, I want to learn. Learning will never stop.
What is
the end game? What is the end game? What is the end game?
The end game is like, okay, I have to like upgrade my skills. Keeping the current skills as well as the
you have upgraded. What else now? You have upgraded, because you will never see this is the problem. People say they do it and learn it just for the sake of learning because they think it look nice. Okay.
No, I have to utilize these things in my current role.
Yeah. So if you're able to do it, good. If you're not able to do it, then no. So whatever you're learning,
I didn't get much time to do hands-on and all those things. And like I'm working on it. I mean, I'm like working to like prepare model, the machine learning model, which can like utilize my skills. I mean, to automate the monitoring, the deployment, and the configuration kind of things.
Rizwan, if you're able to do what they're asking you to do, you're good. If you don't know, majority of time problem happens is people don't know what their end goal is. They want to just learn for the sake of learning. It looks like you want to implement. If you're implementing, good. If you're done, so rather than overthinking and thinking and going from one place to another place, I would say focus on what you're doing and implement them.
Okay. Actually, there are a number of topics, so each and every topics I cannot like go and work on it. Okay, so I will have to like take a few topics which are like really which are correlated to my skills and all. So like machine learning, the deep learning, those kind of things are related to me, so that I can utilize this one and upgrade my skills in this one.
Yep, brilliant.
Okay, thank you so much.
Okay, all the best. Good luck. Thank you.
Am I audible?
Yes, you are, Karthik. Finally, so the party spoke. Guys, sorry, extremely sorry. Okay.
One question
please.
from Muthu. How much I can get 20 plus IT development experience? So in data engineer 6 years and 15 years of software engineer experience. Along for what grade I can apply for?
Repeat, come again.
So he's having 20 plus IT development experience, which includes 6 years as a data engineer and 15 years of software engineer experience. So how for what?
Is he here? Because I want to ask few more questions, because as I said, I want to ask few more questions on, first of all, you don't limit yourself by how many years experience, because I have guys who are just 4 years, 5 years are earning too much money. Also, there are guys who are 20 years, but not earning good money as well. So a couple of things will depend on how much confident you are, how much money you want to demand, and you can do. Muthu, yeah, please, Muthu, if you're here. Is that question from Muthu?
Yes. Thanks, Atul. So,
No worries.
this is Atul. I live in Northern Ireland. So, I have a 20 plus years of experience, and all I have most of the development experience in .NET and also data engineering with the latest tech stack, PySpark, Databricks, Snowflake, and all other stuff. But in terms of after learning that AI stuff like AI, then what would be the role and how will they be eligible to apply for as a senior engineer or a principal engineer in terms of AI? Because at the moment I'm looking for a job, I'm finding very hard to get the job. They are asking because they are asking. I have a lot of experience. Why I am looking only for still as engineering role? Why don't they look for a higher role? That's what they are looking. My CV is not very much getting
So, okay, so hold
shortlisted
on
unless if it is
one step at a time, one thing at a time, one question. So there's a very valid point. If you have 20 years, why you're looking for a developer and why not as an like senior?
Yeah.
So that's the question I'm going to ask. And these are kind of questions I'm going to ask you as well, because that's how you prepare for the interview. So tell me why you're applying for just a developer and not.
No, to be honest, the real fact is like my company, I was a senior consultant and senior engineer. I was continuing the role. There was no issues at all. After redundancy, I had to look out for a job outside of Northern Ireland, especially in London, like where you live. Then they are not selecting me unless if it is a contract role. For a permanent role, they are not selecting my CV. They are looking they look for maybe architect or principal grade instead of senior engineer. Lead, beyond the lead, they are looking for a principal grade. So if I had say that okay, I worked as a lead or anywhere, they are reluctant to take because they are looking for some kind of a title, job title, and also they want to check from my previous companies as well. So I will not be able to hype my profile
No,
in terms of
hold on. This is wrong. This is again. First of all, when you say we can't hype or write down, you can always write down. Okay, because that's what we cover inside the program. Talking about what I mean by that is they will go and check whether you've worked on there. No one is going to check the title. Even if they ask, majority of time companies don't respond and say you're playing that title or not. There might be some exceptional 1%, 2% where they will be very particular about title, but not. They want to know whether you worked or not. And only if you're not able to clear the interview or some doubts creep in, then they might go on deeper. So first and most important is you're right. If I'm a recruiter and employer, I'm going to say I have a 20 years experience. Why you're still going as a developer? Can I hire a junior developer or a junior person on for this role? Why I'm going to hire a 20 years? That's where the problem happens. You're not upgrading your skills as you get more and more experience. You stayed there and now you're out of you're not. So you need to upgrade yourself into those kind of jobs which you can either you can say, hey, I'm purposefully, I don't want an architect role. I want to enjoy development part, and that's what I'm doing. And put your foot down and say, I want a developer. I'm a brilliant developer, and I want to stay as a developer. A lot of guys do that. I know because I was working on a recent project in the UK only, and the guy works another UK. I think it's Manchester. The guy is brilliant, and he does super coding and developer. And he purposefully says, I don't want to go on any architect role. I don't want to be in a senior role. I enjoy, and that's what I'm going to end up doing. You hire or don't hire, but then you might have to then settle down a little bit more salary, less salary, because you're not playing an architect role. So you need to decide where you want to go and put your foot down and say, because I don't want to do architecture design. Understand what I'm saying?
Okay. Yeah. So what do you think about the TV getting through the interview? That possibility. Once the interview they arrange it, I think I am confident to clear the interview. But
So why you're not getting interview being selected is then either your LinkedIn is not aligned, all the 5 things which I've watched the recording again and look back again on the point and say fix those things which I mentioned. If your resume is not being picked up, either not giving good enough signals to the employers or recruiters that and your LinkedIn and your resume is not matching. Your resume is not aligned as per the job description. Just pay attention to 5 things which I mentioned. Watch the recording again. Focus on those 5 things. 5, 6 things.
Okay. Sure. Yeah. Thank you.
Are you posting on LinkedIn as regularly? How long? You mentioned you made redundant. How long you've been out of job?
More than 3 months, 4 months almost.
Something is seriously wrong. Something is seriously wrong,
including.
Muthu, something is seriously wrong. If you're telling me what you have, you don't. It's not a skill problem. You're just a marketing problem. It's a how do you package your skill is a problem.
Okay.
Okay.
So I have latest skill, Databricks, PySpark. Especially when I apply for London jobs, they are looking my postcode because I live in Northern Ireland. They are asking my previous company where it was in Northern Ireland. Most of the companies in London, they are not picking my, because they said I'll find it very hard to come there. I clearly said that willing to relocate at my own expenses, and I'm very happy to
No,
come
look,
and settle there in England.
Muthu, these are just excuses to say we do, and I'll be very blunt and direct to be frank. Okay, if I like someone, location is not. Yours is an average. Again, don't. I'm very blunt and direct to be frank. I'll give a lot of tough love. Okay. So your resume is just like a lot of other average resumes they might be getting. It's not something standing apart. If I like someone, I make effort to go and take to any extreme. Okay. So either on the profile that you're applying, they get tons of guys and they found someone better locally, much better than. Okay. So if you think you're struggling on Northern Ireland, come to London and stay, work from here, or come because you're out of job for 3 months. You start move already into London. Say I'm already in London.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
This is just one. I don't think location is the problem. I think its main problem is because you're either presenting average, you're not posting on the LinkedIn which I mentioned. Those are some of the things that I think are going to be. And yours is a quick and easy fix. And okay. Also do something which is hot in the market and not a lot of competition, because data was still hot, but at the same time there's a lot of competition. There are a lot of guys who have done these things what you're telling me about, Databricks and so on. What is the stagnant? That's why we used to do a lot of these things, and we're still doing data and cloud, but majority of our placements and hiring are happening on AI because competition is less, and then there's not enough guys to compete around. And that's going to go for next 2-3 years, but then again, it'll become competitive.
Exactly. You're right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, brilliant. Thank you, guys. As I said, guys, I'm going to kill you for, it's okay. So I know problem happens. Don't worry. Big congratulations, guys. And thank you very much. I think we are closing this. We filled on this point. We have two options, both the options. I'm going to take any one questions as well. Again, see, am I audible? Thank you, Kalai. We're going to send the recording as well. I'm going to pick up the questions. Yeah, sorry.
Another question from
Karthik,
Alpha.
okay, fine. Yeah, please. Good.
Question from Alpha. How to continuously evaluate your salary expectation, especially when changing a field? Example, going from a DevOps to lead ops or program manager.
Repeat the question. How to?
Continuously evaluate your salary expectation, specifically when changing the field.
I think what you should do is you should put the best possible salary that's possible. Okay. Now, employers, they will not outwardly reject or maybe hide. And again, these are some of the salary negotiations we're going to cover, but don't reveal or open it or open up. Hello. Just apply. Yeah, so I can hear you now. It's okay. Yeah. So again, go and look at, let me cover these questions. Also, when I'm going to pick, I can hear you now. Also. Okay. So the question was about how do I compare? If the person is here, I would love to unmute and go a little bit deeper on the question. But what I've understood is the question correctly is that how do I keep myself updated with latest what I can demand? Is that the question? Or just repeat one more time. Sorry, Karthik.
So how we can evaluate our salary expectation when we're changing the field?
And who is this question from?
Alpha.
Alpha, if you're still here, is he still here?
No, he left.
Okay, we'll let him go then. Okay. Inti is here. Inti, over to you. You are allowed to talk. We are putting you here. So see if you can unmute yourself. We'll answer that question. I'll go a little bit deeper into the question and follow up as a part of recording later. FAQs. Inti, over to you. Can you see if you're speaking? Put the chat window if you're speaking. No. Inti, if you can put in the chat window the question, I'm not able to hear you. Next question, over to you. Karthik.
Question from Fraz. Will this course applicable to DevOps and SRE?
Yes, so there'll be very good question. So yes, it will be applicable for DevOps and SRE. There'll be part about MLOps, which we go exactly like on MLOps, which will cover targeted for DevOps and SRE guys, professionals. Very good question, Karthik.
Question from Murli. Do we have any AI course on Oracle Cloud?
Yes, I think I mentioned that, Murli. So we
Yes.
do have Oracle AI. So they go to cover 2 certifications and everything focused about Oracle Cloud. Yes, we do have. Yes.
Sir, there is one question from Jyoti.
Thank you. So finally, good one. Okay, tell. Yeah.
So, sir, it is, can I be part of this journey as I am 19 plus years of IT experience, all in Oracle database and Oracle Cloud. So I have also experience on customer success manager. So lot of confusion is going on. This question is from Jyoti.
I think we already covered absolutely. This is how I transitioned from Oracle, and we are also consulting for a company. It's a big company in US. They have operations in India and they have operations in Canada, in UK and Ireland, Northern Ireland itself. So they want to upskill their entire Oracle database administration because I come from Oracle DBA background. I used to be in my old previous life. When I say previous life, 2000 till 2007-8, I used to do a lot of Oracle ERP DBA, moved into then on security. So we are telling them how DBAs will be transitioning onto Oracle or AI. Within AI, what all things you'll be doing. Easy route for you entry is moving. If you're already working on Oracle Cloud, you do Oracle AI, Agentic AI. Also go for Fusion applications, has a lot of AI agents, database, autonomous database, 30, like I think 22C or at the time of this, now we're doing 22C or something that have AI agents already being implemented. So start leveraging that, start talking about that, start writing about that, start learning and implementing for that as well. Yeah. So yes, you should be doing. So that's how you should be doing. We can go more deeper if required. Guys, those who want a little bit more connection, there's also a book a call with my team. They can go and book a call. I think, let me see the URL, K21Academy.com/apply. Okay. Now, question is Brian saying, is this also applicable for SAP for HANA? So SAP for HANA, so we are not going for HANA training as such, but SAP HANA has now, every SaaS vendor has started using AI, Agentic AI. So we're not doing SAP or SAP for HANA, but whatever you learn can be implemented or leveraged or used in SAP for HANA, but we are not covering SAP or SAP for HANA. Am I right? And is that what is S4 HANA? If you're talking about SAP, fine. If your question is something else, Ben, I'm sorry. If I picked up your wrong questions. Next one, please, Karthik.
So there is one question from Parik. For leaders and professionals who are not part of core AI teams, how does this course enable meaningful adoption of AI and agentic AI concepts across business, data, and operational functions?
Brilliant. So I think if you see this whole thing, so once think AI and cloud, and for that who are doing just like leadership roles, you can skip this part if you want to. Go for AI basics, and this is what we are going to cover inside the program called AI for Leaders, and this is exactly what we are going to cover inside that. So there's a whole, so each of these has a separate course content, agenda, and things. So AI for Leaders will be going deeper. Who is that gentleman? If you can point them and you can push them about AI for Leaders after this class, or maybe tomorrow, Ustav, go and give them a more context leaders. So we have option of AI for leaders, or you can go for interview preparation, all those things as well. So I think URL is K21Academy.com/AI for Leaders offer.
AI for Leaders.
Or AI for Leaders offer. Put in the chat window after this class, or maybe tomorrow. Yeah.
Sure.
Next one, please.
So there is one question from Mr. Praveen. To implement, run, and build around agentic AI, we need someone to run those things. How it will benefit end customer where we don't have internet or air gap environments?
Good point. And okay, now if let's suppose what you do typically is majority of the time you go to LLM providers or third-party providers who are providing. If you don't want to connect and you bring those models, and that's where the deployment of those models locally within your customer premises. It's things like everything that I'm doing within my premises. So I'm going to have those models. This is one of the things that we cover inside the program. So we're going to bring entire deployment of this model, implementation of that model into your premises, your data center, or the cloud bubble that you build, which is called as private cloud or local on-premise infrastructure. So you bring that and you're going to use that model in everything doing internally. Next one, please. There's a follow-up question, guys. Please keep asking the questions.
So mostly rest of the questions has been covered from our end. Karthik, if you would like to add something, please.
So I think we're going to wrap it up. I can see a couple of more questions. Rizwan has a question. Quick question: can we get a job in UK even when in India, or for AI kind of a role? Now, a lot of guys inside a remote job. Now, UK, anywhere you do and work, if you have a visa constraint, some jobs will say that, hey, you need to have an authorized or work visa, then you can't apply or you won't get a job of those. But some jobs are an inside again program we cover. We show you how to find a remote job. Some jobs doesn't require work authorization for that. So these companies outsource to remote. Anyone can apply for the jobs. Doesn't need to be India. Anywhere on a lot of those things are they don't do it for cheap resources. They do it because finding that resource within UK might be difficult and challenging. Of course, some companies do it for cheaper resources, but then depending on the type of role, if it requires work authorization, then you can't from India. If that doesn't require work authorization, then yes, you can. Okay. Inside the program, we have one module about how to find a remote jobs. With that, I'm going to wrap it up. There are still questions are coming, so I'm going to pick up. If you have any questions, we saw a lot of questions coming. Ustav, I know sometimes technical glitches happen, so don't worry about it. You've been brilliant. Also, we're going to pick up all these questions. There are still more than 50 guys still here. 39, 40 guys are here. Inti, I'm sorry, I don't know. I think there's a technical glitch. A lot of guys.
Inti was not able to put his questions, but he has put his questions in the chat window. So,
could pick up. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, this is the last one, sir.
Okay.
Inti is saying, I do not have any IT related experience and want to know that will this program give me an advantage as compared to the other IT professionals?
No, I don't think I'll be very open and transparent and blunt. Not an advantage, but somewhere you don't start. And what it's a good or not so good is definitely if someone has already an IT experience, will definitely do better. So no, but the good point is with AI, pretty much almost the guys who are working in IT already are starting on the same level field, I can say starting point. Having said that, because they have other experience, they might learn these things quickly, but you have to start someone NT. So be open and transparent. If you have already IT, you'll definitely do a little bit better than those who don't. But then this doesn't mean we have lots of guys who have no IT experience and they're becoming AI consultant. They're going for strategic business analyst. They're going into QA. You might not go more development part unless you have a coding or programming, you want to enjoy that. But there are a lot of job roles which are in AI. You can easily enter into that with this thing. So to answer your question, for AI roles, when I say AI, sorry, consultant role, you'll do good. Consultant roles. On business analyst role, where you need a little bit more strategic thinking. Coding you might not be, or architect or designing you might be ahead of them. Real and simple. With that, I think we're going to do and wrap it up. This wonderful guys have been going almost now way more than I do. But thank you very much for those who did. Brilliant. My team, one more, Saroj, welcome to the program. Thank you very much. We'll be closing this on. Replay will be available on for you. And thank you very much for standing for that long. Karthik and Usav, thank you, everyone. Let's close this training now. Thank you. And guys, sorry if we missed. There are still, I must miss the questions. I'm not reading right now. I think I'm dead tired, but I'm going to pick up these tonight or tomorrow. Not tonight, tomorrow. All the best and thank you very much. Thanks. Just give me one thumbs up or down. Did you enjoy or not? Was it useful or not? Put in the chat window. Useful or not, you'll all get the replay. So keep an eye on. Tomorrow you'll get a replay. Thank you, everyone. Thanks, guys. How do I close this? Thanks, Chandra. Chanchaksheka, NT, thank you. Muthu, thank you. Thanks, Michael, Muthu. And thank you very much for spending time. And it was good. Karthik, how do we close it?
I'm ending the webinar, sir.
Oh, great. Thank you. Thanks.